Hi.
Hello, Hot Vibes, and welcome to the podcast. I'm Billy.
What are you introducing yourself for?
I forgot what the movie was, so I'm like, I'll just do a basic introduction now.
I swear to God, if you hate this movie, we're no longer friends.
I didn't hate it. It wasn't my cup of tea, though.
Why?
And this movie actually helped me realize why I'm not a big movie person, though. And I will say,
okay.
it's the general basic of movies in general.
Okay.
I'm a character person, and it's hard for me to get invested in characters I only see for like 2 hours.
Yeah, you just meet, yeah.
Where like in like TV shows, they're like, depending on how long the episodes are and like multiple episodes and seasons, like you really get to know and go in depth with these characters. Where like in a 2 hour span, I'm like, cool, like the action sequences were sick and cool, but I'm just like, I don't really know these people. I don't care. Like it helped me realize that, where I'm like, because I've noticed every time you're like, oh, you're talking about this movie, and I'm like, I haven't seen it. It's because I'm not a movie person. Oh, so
I see.
it helped me realize that. But like, and again, like it was fine. I didn't have any I didn't like hate it, but I didn't like love it either. I was kind of just like, it's cool. Like it's fine.
Alright. Maybe I'll help you get a little more into it with my explanations.
Maybe, yeah.
Who knows?
But how was your week this week?
How was my week? I don't know. I don't think my week was anything. I went to work. It snowed a little more. Did I do anything around here? No. Played some Fortnite. Last night was when I did all of this old guard stuff. Like I sat down at 9 p.m. to do notes for the movie. And I also took a break to go digging through all my boxes to find all of my graphic novels for the old guard. Because I thought I had 2. Turns out I have 3. Where's number 1? I literally put it here. What the fuck?
It disappeared.
It disappeared. I put it right here. What the fuck? No. There's 2 down there. Where the fuck's the other one? Oh my god, I lost it.
Great. Good to see you came prepared.
I did. Oh, it's under my blanket.
Oh, there we go. We got it. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry.
I reread just now. I just finished, like, literally 2 minutes ago before I set up the computer. I finished rereading the first book. I was gonna reread the other 2 as well, but I didn't have the time and I was tired and it was 2 a.m. So I went to bed. But it took me, I was like in my garage for an hour going, where the fuck are these books? Because I found book 3 like almost immediately because I hadn't read it yet. So it was more recently put in a box. I had it out. The other 2, I don't know where the fuck they were, but I think it was the last box that I was gonna check that night, and then I'm like, I give up. It was in there. And there were 2 in there. I was like, oh fuck, there's more than 1. But I'll have some insight on the graphic novel as well,
Cool.
and what they kind of changed when it came to the movie. So, how was your week?
It was pretty chill. I mainly just like recording and stuff. I started doing a new Let's Play
Ooh, really?
of Life is Strange. I don't know if you've ever heard or played that.
I didn't play it. I did watch someone play it. It's been a few years though, so I barely remember it. But it was like the Polaroid picture thing.
Yeah, it's like the time travel picture,
Yeah.
and the butterfly effect theme is in there too, where it's like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I only played chapter 1. The whole chapter 1 is in like one giant ass 3-hour long video on my channel. If you're interested, you can check it out.
I kind of want to do a Let's Play too. Like I'm getting, I wanna.
Let's Plays are so fun.
They are, and also I need to play The Last of Us 2. I need to play The Last of Us Part 2.
Stream or Let's Play that. Like it's like
I might do stream. I did look up. I was like, can I stream stuff from my TV and PS4 to like a thing? And they're like, yeah, just hook it up to your computer that has a streaming software and everything, and it should like mix up like that. So I have to do some tests, but like I want to do that.
Yeah,
because it sounds fun.
Yeah, no, Let's playing is very fun. I do enjoy it. It's like super chill, super fun. Just
I worry about like getting really pissed though on camera because like I got through half of the first Last of Us game, not even half, I think, And I got like furious at one part, and I literally just like quit. I didn't finish playing it. I went and watched like Markiplier play it. But
Yeah.
I couldn't finish it. So I worried that that would happen, but
Well, that's what's entertaining is watching people get mad and frustrated at games.
true. I'll have to be like, chat, how the fuck do I pass this? I'll have help. It's fine.
Yeah. So I did that. Not much happened other than yesterday. I have a story that I would like to call Breakfast from Hell.
What the fuck?
So my friend and I went out to a restaurant to have breakfast.
Mhm.
And it was, everything seemed normal at first. We sat down, we were just like chilling, talking, whatever.
Yeah.
Then this old man came in, and he was like really old, where like he had a cane to walk and stuff, and he was like, like clearly he like was old, and like he sat down at a table next to us, and I guess he's been there a lot before because he was a regular, and like the waitress was like, oh, hey, whatever your name is, do you want your regular? And he's like, yeah, and like ordered regular and all that stuff. So that was happening. We were just talking or whatever. Um, and then the old man like spilled his water, and we were like, oh shit, and like no, none of the like staff was around, so me and my friend were just like, oh yeah, no, we'll clean it up, it's fine. Like we grabbed napkins, start cleaning up and everything. The old man like he didn't really react at all to like still like he was still there, he was still like conscious and everything, but we are just like, oh, it's
Hmm.
fine, like it's fine, and like we were like, don't worry about it, like we'll clean it up and everything, and he didn't really like respond at all. And then eventually the staff started noticing like, oh, there were the wires blowing out. Oh yeah, no, we got it, it's fine. And they kept asking like the old man, he's like, hey, are you okay? And you would be like, yeah, but he wouldn't answer any other question you were asking, like because again he's a regular, they all know him and stuff, and like one of the waitresses like sat down like across from him, and she was just like, hey, how was your day today? What did you do? And he kind of just like sat there and didn't really answer, and she would be like, oh,
Hmm.
are you okay? And he's like, yeah, yeah, I'm like, yeah. He would only answer that question, which was weird. And we kept noticing
Huh.
like his eyes kept like his eyelids started like getting like heavy, and like he was about to, like go. And me and my friend were just walking, and we're like, what the fuck, like.
Oh
And
my god.
yeah, so we were kind of like, and the waitress were like, yeah, we should call someone. Apparently, he's diabetic too, and I guess what happened with he was having a diabetic attack. Um,
Oh.
yeah, he had orange juice to like help that, and like eventually like an ambulance did come, had to pull him out on a stretcher. He was conscious when he left, so that was good. And while that was happening, um, a group of people who me and my friend went to high school with showed up.
No.
They sat at the table. They sat at a table next to us, but like it was like there was like the walkway gap, so like they were like further away, but like still next to us.
Hmm.
And because this was happening on our other side, both me and my friend just kept looking at him and like focusing on that to not look at the other
Yeah,
people.
let's.
And because the paramedics were coming in and everything, me and my friend were like, "Hey, do you want us to like move to a different table?" Because like we were kind of like in the way.
Yeah.
And so we moved away from the people we went to high school with, moved to a different table, and like good thing we did too, because what we saw that like they actually did move our table and chairs all out of the way to get this like
Yeah,
dirty
to get
out
the
and
guy.
stuff. So we were like, good thing we left. So we're like trying to avoid them. Then someone else we went to high school with showed up. And again, sat at the end of the table, and we were like looking at each other, and we're just like, okay, let's just eat our food, get the fuck out of here, let's
We
fucking
gotta
go.
go.
And fortunately, we did. We had no interaction with the people we went to high school with, which was good. And yeah, we were left, and we're just like, what the fuck happened the last hour?
What the fuck?
Between the guy with the diabetic attack and everyone we fucking knew from high school showing up at the same place.
Oh my god.
It was fucking nuts. We were like, we are never going back there again.
It's tainted now. I used to I did that with the Cheesecake Factory. Too many things happened at the cheese. Whenever I would go to the Cheesecake Factory, it was always bad shit after bad shit. Like I never had a good experience at the Cheesecake Factory, so it's like cursed in my mind. Like I
Mm.
never go to the Cheesecake Factory. Sometimes something's just tainted, and you're just like, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna steer clear. You all have seemed fine, but I'm not
Yeah,
gonna come.
it's cause like, and I've been there plenty of time before. The food's always been good. The staff's always been super friendly and everything. And like we actually told the waitress like afterwards, we're just like, hey, like everyone we know from high school is here, and she's like, oh no, that sucks. like she immediately like understood our situation. Like she's like, that sucks,
It's
and we're just
that's
like,
it's a universal situation.
yeah. So that was the whole thing. And that was yesterday, and that was about my week. So breakfast from hell is what
Nice.
happens.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Well, I'm finally gonna start filming this week, I believe, because I mean I
Ooh.
have to. 911 is on Friday.
Oh.
Um, 911 is returning, so I'm about to be real unbearable next week. Um,
Great.
we'll see. Maybe I don't know, but I have to start filming again because I'm filming that. But like, I want other shows to be like at least I've done some of them, and I want to start with Squid Game and Exo Kitty. But there's like a billion other shows that are starting that I'm like, fuck, I really gotta get this shit.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Um, but anyway,
Yeah. But actually, before we jump into the old guard, right?
yes,
Old guard.
yes,
Okay. Yes.
correct.
Before we jump into that, I do want to speak out to the hot vibes to let you guys know that by the time this episode is out, we should already have the poll up on Twitter
Oh
for the new
yes,
show because we're going to discuss it after we record this and pick which ones we're going
yeah,
to put up there. So you guys can go there now to vote, and we'll reveal that next week when we talk about the movie I picked. So make sure if you want to know, stay tuned for that. And yeah, I'll probably talk about that at the end too, just to give you guys a little reminder. But in case y'all like end up leaving early or whatever, want to get that at the beginning, and then yeah, just so you guys can vote
yes.
and see and pick what
Vote.
movie we do next. What next show we do next.
What movie?
That's what it is.
We are watching The Old Guard, or we're talking about The Old Guard.
Yes.
One of my favorite movies ever. And it's based on a graphic novel series, which I'm pretty sure there's only 3 out right now. We start off in The Old Guard with kind of like a little flash forward moment. You basically see them dead on the floor, covered in blood. Eyes have
Yes.
no life in them. And uh Andy is basically saying to herself, like, every single time this happens, I ask myself the same thing. Is it this time? Is this the one? Like, and basically insinuating, like, is this when I'm gonna die? Is
Hmm.
this finally the moment I'm gonna die in? But every time it's the same answer, and she's fucking tired of it. So basically, she's still not dead. She's been alive for a while. And side note, the soundtrack in this movie, peak.
I did actually like a lot of the music. That was one thing I didn't know. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
this kind of slaps.
The the music choices in this are just so fucking stellar. I have a whole playlist for it, and I keep adding to it every year by going, actually, why haven't I added this song yet? I just throw it in there. But one of the songs in this movie is one of my favorite songs, and it's because I first saw it in this movie. So when we get to it, I will point it out.
I do forget most of the songs, but I'll like
It's okay.
maybe you can remember.
I'll still point it out because that's just what I do. Anyway, we what I'm gonna do is I'm separating all of this by location. So this is not by scenes, it's by location. So
Okay.
first, Morocco. We are in Morocco. To start us off. And we see Andy kind of heading somewhere, and we also see a man on a bike. They know each other. It's Booker and Andy.
Hmm.
These are 2 of our immortals, and Booker rides up on a bike and he's like, hey, long time no see. Have you been traveling? So evidently she's not really been with the crew. She's been away for a while on a break,
Hmm.
is what they say later. And has basically just been traveling around, not really doing much. And she's like, why am I here? Why did you call me back here? And he's like, oh, you remember that job in Surabaya? I think that's what it's called, Surabaya, maybe. Sorry if I butcher any country names in this. Not, I'm not well versed. But the guy who hired them for that job 8 years ago, Copley, he's ex-CIA. Now he's ex-CIA, and he wants to hire them again for a hostage situation in South Sudan. And she's like, no, 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 no. We don't do repeats. That's something we just don't do. It's way too dangerous. And he's like, come on, they're kids. He really needs us for this, and that kind of like gets her to do it because it's if it was like just like a couple people that were taken hostage, she's very like, I don't want to do this. Like, the thing about Andy is she's kind of like given up on the world.
Yeah.
She's got a very negative view of things. But when it comes to saving people, eventually she gives in because like it's her base kind of like, I don't want to say personality, but like it's somewhere deep in her soul where it's like she has to save people. If there's a chance to, she'll do it. So While they're checking in, I do want to point out Andy's kind of just standing off to the side, and we see her notice the news. And it says, ongoing crisis in Syria, 20 dead. It flashes to another one, another attack, 1 dead, 35 injured. And it really shows how Andy sees the world. We kind of see the world through her lens there for a moment of, wow, the world is just in shambles and we can't save it. It's fucked.
Yeah.
She's only seeing the negative of it because
Hmm.
that's just like the news presents. We only really see the negative of
Yeah.
everything. And in that moment, she hears someone take a selfie behind her. And she's like, fuck, because that camera was pointed right at her.
Yeah, they got it in the
So she
background.
goes, yeah, she is sneaky. And she goes over, she's like, oh, I can take that for you. She quickly deletes the photo that she's in, takes a selfie, walks off. So they don't want to be seen.
Yeah.
They're very much like a move in the background kind of group.
Yeah, like legally they don't exist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so they make it to the room, and we meet our 2 other immortals, Joe and Nikki. I love Joe and Nikki. The gays, we're gonna call them. Um,
Speaking of, I got questions.
yes. Oh, you got questions. Okay.
So for the images you sent me about this movie, I was there when you were picking them out for little
Yeah, I
disclosure.
know.
You had an AI generated a picture of 2 knights kissing, I believe is what you
Yeah, I
said.
know. I know.
What was the reason for the knights part?
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Because that I didn't get. I was like, if it's just 2 guys, you could have literally picked any kissing scene from any of our shows we've talked about before,
No,
and that would have worked just as well.
I couldn't because they died in the Crusades. Nikki was kind of like, I want to say like a knight. He had like a sword. He had chainmail, things like that. And during the Crusades, I'm gonna go through a history lesson here. During the Crusades,
Okay.
it was Christians against Muslims. Is basically what that was. I didn't know how else to depict it with 2 knights kissing. That just ended up being how it worked.
Yeah.
But during the Crusades, it was like 1099, I think is when they died, CE. So long fucking time ago, and I believe Nikki was like not a knight, but like knight adjacent, you know?
Okay.
So he had chainmail, he had the sword.
Okay, that makes a little more sense. Because I was like, 'cause when we do
Yeah.
see them in Kiss, I'm like, wait, this has nothing to do with knights, though. Like, why the fuck did you CG, like, AI a picture of this?
It's because of who they originally were and what time they came from before.
Okay, I thought it was just to be like, hey, they're gay, and that's why. I was like,
No, not hey.
why the knights? Like, again, you could have picked any other kissing scene from any other show that we talked about, and that would have made more sense to me.
No, my pictures were all very thought out, except for the axe. So that honestly was just like I'll just pick an axe. I don't fucking know.
The act, when I actually recognized, I was like, oh, that's actually kind of cool.
There you go. I'll point out the other 2 as well.
Yeah, no, I got the other 2.
Oh, you got the other 2.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
that was the only one I was confused by because I was like, okay, it's 2 guys kissing, but you specifically made an AI picture of knights, and I was like, why knights? What
You
was
gotta
that reason?
listen. You gotta watch them. We gotta listen when they talk.
I did, but I was confused because when they actually did kiss, I was like, wait, but they're not nice. Though. I was like, did it happen at night? Was that like a play on words or something? And I'm like, what was the reason?
It happened at night. I swear to God.
I don't know. I thought like a little like not tongue twister, but like a little like brain teaser thing.
And
Where it's
Blue
like
Brain
that.
Teaser.
I don't know.
No. They came from the Crusades, which was kind of like the best way I could use to describe
Okay,
that.
okay, that helps a bit.
But I'll go into more of like who they were in the Crusades as well later. But yeah, we meet Joe and Nikki. So there's 4 of them: Andy, Booker, Joe, and Nikki. Those are our 4 immortals for now.
Mm.
And they kind of have a little game, a little bet to see if she can guess where it's from, because she's been around the longest. She fucking knows everything by this point.
Mm.
She tastes it. She's like, okay, there's hints of this, there's hints of that, and I believe she says Eastern Turkey. She doesn't even just guess Turkey. She says Eastern Turkey. Like
Mm.
she knows exactly where the fuck this is from, and it kind of shows how they have like this easygoing, happy family dynamic. They have a connection that like not a lot of people, no other people actually can
Yeah.
really relate to them on, because only they've gone through what they've gone through. And seeing them in a moment of happiness and like just having fun is very rare in this movie, but it really shows their dynamic very well.
Hmm.
Now, they're like, okay, so what's next? What's the job? What should we do? And Nikki's like, well, with this new job, maybe we can do some good. And she's like, have you seen the news lately? Some good means nothing. Which is, again, pointing to the fact that, like, she's lost faith in what they do, basically.
Yeah.
Like, lost faith on the fact that they have any positive impact on the world. Now we meet Copley. We also have a good soundtrack moment here. It's very, like, doonch, 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 but, like, kind of Middle Eastern at the same time. Like, it's a very cool soundtrack moment. I also want to point out that my computer's being fucking mean. Like, I've had to mute...
What?
I've had to mute the movie specifically because I muted my computer, which apparently does not work. It's turned down all the way and muted, but the sound still comes out of the fucking laptop.
That's weird.
Thank you. I thought so too. So I've had to mute the movie through Netflix because otherwise it would be playing.
Okay.
My computer's being stupid. Anyway, so we meet Copley. This is, I believe, James Copley. He's James Copley in the book, so I'm gonna go by James. And he is British, and they're like, I thought only Americans, could be CIA, and he was like, I am. I was actually born in Boston, and moved to London when I was 3. And they were like, why did you leave? And he says that his wife got sick. She had ALS, and she died. And that's information we're going to need for later. And he kind of makes a little joke at Booker. He's like, you haven't aged a day, Booker. He's like, oh, trust me, I have. And it's a little more prominent in the book that he definitely knows they've not aged a day. But like, it's a little nudge, nudge, wink, wink of, I know you haven't aged a day.
Yeah, he knows what's up.
He knows what's up. He tells them that a school in South Sudan, a little south or west of Juba, can't remember, my bad. A militia killed a group of teachers and abducted 17 students, 17 little girls. Yeah. And they're hiring them to rescue the kids before they get separated because the US apparently, at this point, probably still, has this thing where they don't send aid to non-strategic allies, which... freedom! And he's like, this has to be done quickly. It's got to be done best. And your team is the best I've seen. He even says you can name your price. And they're like, okay, we'll invoice you when it's done. Bye. So they won't even tell him what the price is. Because honestly, they're the only ones that can do what they do. So they know by this point, they're like, oh, well, we can tell you whatever the fuck the price is, but we'll tell you after. And we also see Copley spot Nikki, who's looking through the sniper, his little rifle off to the side. And gives him a little wave. He sees him in the window. He gives him a little wave. Part of me wonders if this is maybe because he knew he was there. If someone told him that he was there.
Maybe.
Because we see someone betray them near the end. So part of me wonders if maybe this was maybe some influence from one of the characters. Like, oh, there is a guy in the window, by the way, so don't do anything. Like, you could get shot if you stand up too fast. Like, yeah. It could just be nothing. It could just be a little nod of him being like, oh yeah, I fucking know what you're doing. Like I'm smart. I've worked for government, whatever. Yeah. But I have to wonder, So we are now flying to South Sudan in a helicopter. And this is our new location, South Sudan. We're in a new location now. And I want to make a costuming note here. Very cool costuming note. Nikki still uses a sword for one. He's got his sword with him. Because he was, I would say, a knight during the Crusades, but I don't know if the knights were in the Crusades. I'm not entirely sure. I'm still not well versed on history. But he has his hood up, like a knight would, like with chainmail. So he still has that habit of like having something over his head when they go into battle, kind of thing. Yeah. Which is really cool little detail that that's costuming cool. Put into that. We also see a shot that is very similar to another shot that I just fucking love. Did you see the Scorch Trials? Have you seen the Maze Runner series?
I saw the first one, but I came late because my friend's brother spilled a drink and I had to clean it up. Um, so I think we missed
Mm,
like first like 10 minutes of the movie, and then I don't remember much after that, and then I don't believe I saw the other two.
mm, damn.
Like
Maybe
I
one of
said,
these days I'll force
I've
you to
learned
watch
I'm not
this.
that much of a movie person. We've
I
just
can see
established
that.
this.
I can see that.
Yes.
Um, but in the second movie, there is it's called the Scorch Trials, and they are basically walking across the whole of the world at this point. Like I don't know where in the world they're walking across, but they're walking across, and it's just covered in sand because the
Hmm.
sun has pretty much scorched it. And there's a shot of them just like walking on top of like just like this hilltop of sand, and it's just you see their shadows one by one as they're walking. One of my favorite shots in the movie, and it's also in this as they're walking across like a hill, and I was like, ah,
Oh, that's
cinema.
cool.
It's just a great fucking shot. And we do see Nikki say "Peace be with you" to the other people traveling in there, and he says it in their language as well. They honestly probably know a lot of fucking languages after being alive for so long.
Yeah.
That's my fucking dream. I want to know that many
Oh,
languages.
I know.
And so we get to this compound, and there's two guards kind of like keeping watch up top. One bullet takes him out. Nikki takes him out with one bullet. He snipes. Like I thought it was two for once. I had to rewind like twice, but no, he shoots once and it goes through one, and then
Mm.
the other person behind him. So they are pros.
Yeah.
They're insane. And I do want to point out the way they move is so like methodical. It's like a dance because they've done this for years together that they all know each other's movements. So like it's so smooth and perfect and just like it looks easy. They make it look so easy because they've been doing this for so long.
I do think part of the easiness of it is also the fact that they know that odds are they aren't gonna die. Like,
Agreed.
so it's kind of like like they actually don't even need to be that like stealthy because it's like they could just walk in if they get shot they die and then they're back up and they're like hey I'm back and then like
True.
so like I do think that's also is part where like they don't have the stress of like if I get like shot it's all over because it's kind of like to them
Exactly.
it's never over. So I think that played the part as well.
There is the worry that if they get shot and like die for a second, they could easily be captured and brought somewhere.
Well that yeah that's true.
But that is a very good point. Like if they get injured, they're healing in if they're not fatally wounded, it doesn't
Hmm.
take them time to come back. If they get like cut or something, healed in seconds.
Yeah.
So there's not really a worry of oh shit, I don't want to get shot, I don't want to get hurt because like yeah, it fucking hurts, but like I'll be fine in 2 seconds. It's
Yeah,
chill.
and we see that later, right? When they all like get like massacred, and then they're like, "Hey, we're back."
We're back. Sucks to be you.
Yeah,
Exactly. So there's such a ease to the way they move because they know they're fine.
yeah,
And they've also spent years building up that like level of teamwork.
yeah.
So they get to this door to this room that all these girls are being kept in. Apparently, there's a pile of shoes outside of the door. Like they've definitely been kidnapped, shoes removed, thrown in
Hmm.
there. Very obvious that they're in there, but they're not
It's a
because
trap.
they make it. It's a trap. They make it down into the room. There's no girls. It's like this steel metal room, actually, kind of. It very much doesn't match the exterior of where they are. And they're like, fuck, are we too late? And the lights turn on, and Andy's like, oh, motherfucker. Like,
Yeah,
immediately, they get sprayed. No human would survive it. They're immediately taking bullets in every part of their body.
yeah,
Every single part. And they even look dead because it's this shot from the beginning. Their eyes have no life in them. They're
yeah.
gone. Except they're not.
Nope, they're back.
They're back. They start waking back up. The bullets start like kind of falling out of the
Yeah,
parts that they're still
that was
sticking.
cool. Actually, I did appreciate the CGI aspect of that, where like you kind of get to
Yeah.
see them heal, and like it's like really cool to watch. I'm like, oh, this is kind of
Mm.
like oddly satisfying to watch
Right?
in a weird way, but like it's cool.
They did a really good job with the effects on this movie, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
And I do want to point out, because I love Joe and Nikki, the first thing Joe does when he wakes up is he sits up and he looks over at Nikki. That's the first thing he does. He's like, hey, you okay? You still alive? You
Hmm.
good? Like, that's his first priority at all times. And basically, when they wake up, all these soldiers realize they've severely fucked up by not reloading. They're just because they figure, they're
They're
dead.
dead. It's over. That
Yeah.
was easy. And then it's like, no, it's not. We're
No,
back.
it's not. They wake up and they're like, fuck, reload, 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 shit. Nah, that honestly, I wanted to know how long it took them to take all these people out, so I timed it.
Mm-hmm.
48 seconds, not even a minute.
Yeah.
48 seconds, they're all dead. Andy ends up whipping out her axe at one point, her signature axe. Very cool axe. It's very prominent. It's very prominent in the books as well. Here it is.
Ooh,
Right there.
cool.
Yeah. It's also in the, I want to say, not like fan art, but like the art that like was included in the book. There it is. Like,
Nice.
it's all through. Like, it's the signature axe. It is the piece.
Yeah.
And when they're done killing everyone, we get Nikki say, "Where are the girls?" And it really speaks to his willingness to believe in the good of humanity before assuming the worst. Nikki is the one of them that is just like believes in hope and is just like, obviously he thinks that everyone is coming through with good intentions before going, oh no, they're bad people. He tries to look at everything through a lens of positivity, even if that fucks him over sometimes. He has not been touched by the negativity that Andy and Booker have. So it really says something that he's just immediately like, well, where are the girls? Are they still here? Like, he still believes there are girls. And Andy's like, nah, there never were any girls. And she sees a camera over in the corner that's been set up that Copley is watching through. So he has seen everything.
Yeah.
He's recorded everything. And now knows that now has kind of like proof adjacent that they are immortal.
Yeah.
And he also has a picture of them on his computer. So he's apparently been researching them and knows kind of at least how, not how far back they go, but he knows they go pretty far back because he has a picture of all of them sitting at some kind of like armed forces encampment from 1864. So he's like, I proof.
Yeah.
There's proof here. He's the research guy. He has connected the dots.
Yeah.
If you will. And this is why they don't do repeats. Because they helped this guy once before, they're helping again, and he screwed them over immediately. For a reason he thought was justified, but it's a gray kind of area.
I was gonna say, is it really like bad what he's trying to do? Like, it's. I could make an argument to back him up, and I'll say that much.
Okay, are we gonna get to a part where you're gonna back it up? Or?
I mean, when we get to the reveal and everything, I can like back it up then, but like, because it is interesting. Like, it is really interesting.
Yeah. I think it might have a counterpoint where it's like obviously not good. But
yeah, no, there's definitely like it's definitely not like all good or all bad. It's very much like
it's a gray area kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, I knew this was gonna happen. I said it. We don't do repeats. And Nikki's like, but we did the right thing, for the right reasons, which is again how his mind works. And she's like, and what did that get us at all? Like, the world isn't getting any better. It's getting worse. Like, we've done nothing. We've not done fucking shit with our life. And it's that huge negativity that she sees everything through.
Yeah.
And Booker, I would like to point out, says, I checked him completely and everything seemed legit. I'm sorry, guys. When you go back through this movie and like look at all the little things that are said by Booker,
the
as well.
foreshadow of like, oh.
Yeah, I checked him completely. Did you? Okay, cool. Good to know. But yeah, they're kind of fucked at this moment. They bury their clothes. Andy's like, I'm fucking done. I can't do this anymore. And she heads off. And then we cut to Afghanistan, our next location. We meet Niall, a 25-year-old Marine. And she is basically hanging out with some kids. She's giving them some bubble gum. And she's being very kind-hearted to all these children. And I want to point out, it's very interesting that that's the first thing we see of her. It's not her, like, killing someone. It's not her like being a badass. It's not her following orders. It's her just speaking to some kids with some kindness,
Yeah.
which I think is very much needed in the group right now because Andy is very much fuck the world, and Niall is
Yeah.
like, but the world ain't all bad. Like, so it could very much balance it out. And but what's really interesting is the second she responds to an order, like a sergeant's like, "Hey, come over here," and she stands up and goes kind of into soldier mode, and the kid you can see responds to that. Like he was smiling and taking gum from her, and then he's immediately like stone faced
Mm-hmm.
and is like, "Oh God!" Like she is a soldier
Yeah.
at the end of the day. So really interesting that they kept a lens on that. So they're ordered to go in this building and look for this guy that they've been trying to find. And before they enter, Niall says, "Keep it respectful." And they're like, "Don't we always?" And she's like, "It never hurts to repeat it." So she does always come from a good place whenever
Mm.
she's doing anything. And they're checking this house for a specific man, but there's a bunch of women there. They're like kind of huddled in a group. And they're like, "We're looking for this man. Have you seen him?" She's got someone translating for her for the things that she can't say. And they're like, "Oh, nope. There's no men here, only women. And to use women as shields is to be no man at all." Very cool quote there. And she kind of like looks behind her at a door, kind of subtly, like
Yeah.
over there. And I was like, "Oh fuck, okay, let's go." So they all kind of get into position and go to kill this guy, but this guy shoots first, and presenting a danger, she ends up shooting him because he's got a gun pointed at her. What the fuck is she gonna do? Yeah, and she's like, "Fuck, they wanted him alive. I need some help over here." And her friend is just like, "Oh shit, we hit the jackpot." It's like, "Could you maybe help me over here?" Okay, for the love of God, they wanted him alive. Help me. And she's busy looking at all this shit. I was like, "Girl, if you helped her, maybe this wouldn't have happened."
Mm.
Also, I do want to point out that the actress that's her friend, Dizzy, I believe, is in the spin-off 911 Lone Star. She's one of the
Oh.
firefighters in 911 Lone Star, which recently ended.
Ah.
R.I.P. 911 Lone Star. I didn't watch Lone Star as much. I watched a little bit of season 1, but it wasn't really my cup of tea. But yeah, she's one of the firefighters. I was like, "Oh my God, Marjan, how are you?" But evidently things don't go according to plan because while Niall is trying to save this guy, he slices her throat open
Mm.
with a knife that he was concealing. And Dizzy's like, "Oh fuck, okay, like I'll try to keep you alive." She's like, basically, she says later, she's holding her throat together in her hands.
Yeah.
Like it's deep and most likely fatal, and you can see a tear fall from Niall's eye, like she knows she's gonna die, kind of thing. But before we get any answers on that, we kind of cut to the train that the four are on. They're all kind of sleeping, they're all falling asleep, and the second they do, they dream. They dream, they see Niall, they see the knife, they see kind of like some of the women in hijabs, and like it's all kind of accumulated together. And they wake up like, "Fuck, motherfuck, motherfuck, motherfuck." And we also come back to Niall for a second, and she wakes up with a bandage on her throat
Mm.
after having dreamed of them.
Yes.
So they're all kind of dreaming of each other, kind of like a tether between the two.
Mm.
And Andy, after waking up, is like, "Fuck, no, not another one. I can't be doing this right now. We already got shit going down. I can't deal with another one." And Nikki does say everything happens for a reason. He's the one that just is like, shit's gonna happen. Like it's very much him. And Nikki makes the case after they all kind of go through the list of like, "Oh, okay, this is what I saw. I saw a couple of these things, something to track her down."
Yeah.
Her name tag said Free something because her last name is Freeman, and they're all trying to figure out where she is. And Andy's like, "We can't be doing this right now." And Nikki makes the case that Niall's incredibly exposed right now. Like she is very obvious. Like she was supposed to die there, and everyone's gonna be looking at her like, "Nah, something's wrong." And
Yeah.
they evidently do, because later we do see them going, "They're actually sending you somewhere for more tests." So
Yeah.
she would have been captured pretty much immediately. And they're like, we really need, someone needs to find her, like now, because someone's going after us, and they figure out that there's another one of us. She's dead in the water, so to speak. And Andy decides that fine, it'll be her then. So she goes. She says she's going to find Niall while the others are going to go looking for Copley, and they'll meet at the Charlie safe house just outside of Paris. And we go back to Afghanistan, and her friends are going to see her. And they're like, one of her friends is like, okay, what, like, chill the fuck out. Like I know you said you were like, you thought she was gonna die, but like, would you rather her be dead? Like,
yeah,
that her honestly, her friends in this kind of pissed me off. Not gonna lie. And she's like, obviously not. I don't want her to be dead. So they go in to see her. They're like, hi, hey, how are you doing? Where's the trophy? Where's the scar? Nothing there. Not even a mark. Not a bandage. Nothing. It's almost like it never happened. And they're like, whoa, what the fuck? And she says that the doctors said it was like a new skin graft or something that they tried,
yeah.
which I'm sure she made up. I don't think a
There's a
doctor
lie.
told her that. Yeah. She's probably just as confused as they are.
Yeah.
And when she stands up to leave, I do want to point out Dizzy, her friend, backs up a little bit. Almost like she's afraid of her.
Yeah, because like something's not right.
Something's not right. Something very weird is going down. But cutting to London for the first time, we see Stephen Merrick. Now, if you guys follow our Twitter and noticed our 4 pictures, this is one of the reasons I put Dudley Dursley from Harry Potter up there, because this is him. Just aged many years. Not many. Sorry, sir. But this is him. He plays Stephen Merrick, who is, he's like a CEO. He says he's the youngest CEO. Later on, he says he's the youngest CEO in Big Pharma. And he's kind of getting funding for future pharma products. In the graphic novel, I do want to say, he's more buff and is like covered in tattoos, and is honestly a lot more insane in the graphic novel.
Okay.
He's kind of, he's got a screw loose, I swear to God, because there is a point later on, I'll just mention it now, the point where he kind of like stabs Joe for proof that they can heal in his office. And in the book, he's he stabbed Joe like 3 times in the movie. In the book, he stabs like each of them like 15 times. He stabs Joe 15 times and Nikki 15 times, just to be like, oh look, they make little tiny bubbles when they try to talk. Like he's fucking mental. He's off his hinges. In this, he's more like a dick that wants money and power. Yeah. But that's what he's doing there. He's kind of holding a big, what was it, like, not meeting, but like, there's a word for it, where there's an audience and everything, and he's like, hey guys, I need money. And cut to the car. Copley is working with Merrick. That's basically what he's been doing, and his scientist partner, to crack the secret of why they're immortal. And Merrick's like, okay, great video, where's the hard proof? And he was like, I couldn't really get anything from that scene. There was an unanticipated amount of carnage. Like, everything was contaminated by other blood. It would have been impossible to get any samples from that. He's like, okay, we'll bring them all in then. And he's like, no. What do you mean? And he's like, well, just bring them in. He's like, I may be able to get you one. That one is obviously one of the team that, so again, you see little hints of foreshadowing going through this movie again, for like a second time, where it's like, I know who that one is. And he's like, no, I'd rather have them all. He's like, these are extraordinary individuals, and they're extremely resistant to capture. They are very fucking difficult to capture.
Yeah.
Like, they've spent years learning how not to get captured. They know what they're doing. But he still wants them all brought in, so off Copley goes to figure the fuck that out. Who knows how. And back to Afghanistan. Niall is working out. She's stressed, obviously. And her sergeant comes up and said, they're sending you to Landstuhl, Germany for more tests. And she's like, well, I'm fine. And he's like, no question. So you gotta go. He also gives her dog tags back and said, we didn't think you were coming back, so we took these off you. Like, you really were, like, dead, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we're all confused. So you're going to Germany. And she goes to the tent to pack her bags, and her friends are all like giving her the side eye, and they seem to have already packed some of her bags as well, and they've put them on her bed, like, we don't want you here, kind of thing. And it's like, yo, you were my best friends 2 seconds ago. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Honestly, if my friend was like, I don't think I can die, I'd have been like, sick, tell me more. Like,
Yeah.
I would not be like at least one of them you would think would be like, hey, what the fuck's going on? But like, nah, they ice her out like
Yeah, they
she's
like
some
turn on
sort of
her and like I'm wondering if it's because maybe with like the sergeant's orders and they like had to like follow the like rule or whatever, but like they didn't seem to like we didn't see him put up much of a fight or anything, so
nah. It's almost like they hate her now, which is very weird.
it could be they're scared of her. Like they could I don't know
Yeah.
if they're religious or whatever, they could think like she's possessed by the Antichrist or something or some weird like
Yeah.
Satanism thing. I don't know. Because like if someone you think dies and then comes back, it's definitely something is up there. Whether good
Yeah.
or bad, we don't know.
Yeah. I would definitely point it as they're scared of her in a way, because Dizzy did back up like that when she stood up.
Yeah.
And basically she's lost everyone that was her friend here. So she's stressed. She goes to have a little listen to her music before she gets on the plane. And 2 soldiers approach her. We see Andy kind of watching from a corner. And they're like, hey, let's go. And immediately they're taken out, though, by Andy. She shows up. She points a gun at, she grabs the gun from Niall, because Niall's pointing a gun at her, and she flips that right on her, which I love tricks like that. It's very cool. She's like, oh, no, you think you're in charge. No, that'd be me. And Niall asks who she is, and she says Andromache the Scythian before she knocks her out. So, thanks for introducing yourself before you knock her out. But, you know, it's easier to take her away if she's knocked out. So, easier extraction. So, I did some research, and evidently Scythians were an ancient Eastern Iranian equestrian nomadic people.
Mm-hmm.
Who had migrated during the 9th to 8th centuries BC from Central Asia to Pontic Steppe in modern-day Ukraine and southern Russia, where they remained established from the 7th century BC until the 3rd century BC. And with all that information, I'll tell you a bit later once we get to the safe house, I've kind of been able to pinpoint maybe where her age range is. She does say her age in the book, and I will tell you that when we get there as well. It's very far off from from what the movie suggests, like from the centuries suggests. Okay. So I have no fucking clue how old she is after all this. So who knows? But anyway, she's driving away with Niall in the trunk and hitting a bump. Niall does wake up and is like, oh, fuck, like I've just been kidnapped, basically. But she knows how to get out of these trucks. She's been trained. She opens the trunk, rolls one right out. Where the fuck she's gonna run, I don't know. But she gets out. And as she runs, she's immediately shot in the head. Yep. By Andy. Again, easier to shoot first, because she's not gonna die. Yeah. Like, might as well just be like, oh my god, fucking hell. Like, might as well just stop this now. And as she's laying there, dead, Andy's like, why is it so damn slow the first couple of times? So evidently, when you first start healing like they do, it takes a second.
Yeah, it takes a bit for your body to adjust to that.
Yeah. It's like, oh, right, we can heal. Like,
yeah.
Takes a second to learn. So I guess it gets faster, which is a good thing. And you see that, like, Niall's kind of a fighter just from the get-go, because she gets up, immediately stabs Andy when Andy starts to try and talk. She's like, oh my god, fuck, and she like takes it out, and that's kind of like a moment where Niall's like, oh, why is that not gonna do shit? Like, and she promptly throws up. She's like, what the fuck is happening? Yeah. I've possibly been shot in the head. I've now stabbed my captor, who immediately took the knife out like nothing happened. What the fuck? Like, at this point, she's still confused. She doesn't actually believe anything Andy's saying. She's just like, what the fuck? She ends up getting back in the car. Because, like, what other choice do you have? Like, walk? I don't think so. She probably doesn't even know where she is, just in the middle of nowhere. And they end up getting to a plane. The pilot, once they enter, Niall's like, wait, this guy's a drug runner. There's a bunch of drugs here. And she's like, yeah, sometimes you gotta work with people you don't want to eat with. Like, she's not hanging with the guy. She doesn't believe in anything he's doing or anything. She's just like, we gotta get somewhere. He's going somewhere. Might as well hitch a ride.
Yeah.
That's they've probably established a lot of connections to make it around the world the way that they do, because they may make some money from contracts like the one they had with Copley, where they, invoice him for a price. But they're probably not the richest people in the world. Just because you've lived a long time doesn't mean money just gravitates towards you. Like, you gotta do stuff to make it. So this is how they get around. They just hitch rides with sketchy people. And so she calls Booker. And she's like, have you found Copley yet? And he's like, no, nothing but dead ends. Okay. And we've come to our first dialogue highlight. I've gone through this. Watching this movie for the billionth time, I've noted some dialogue highlights, which are basically some of my favorite lines in the movies. Okay. And this one is, she stabbed me, so I think she's got potential. Which is just a wonderful line. So reiterating to him everything that's going down, he reiterates to her what they're doing. So they decide, okay, cool, great. She throws the phone on the ground, breaks it, because, like, untraceable, that way, I guess. They probably have a billion burner phones they've used in their time. And I do want to point out, in the books, Andy has no fucking idea how to use this technology at all. I think she would have been hella confused on how to delete that photo off the girl's phone. But in the books, she's talking to Nikki at one point, and she's like, I don't know how the fuck you... he's like, you hit the big button there. And she's like, how the fuck do you do it? I like the older ones. He's like, you didn't know how to use those either. So her being around for as long as she has doesn't necessarily help with technology. Yeah. She has no idea how to use it. But in the movie, it's a little less prominent. And on the plane, obviously Niall has questions that Andy said she would answer. So she's like, hey, why is this happening? And she's like, no fucking clue. I thought you had answers. She's like, I didn't say you'd like them. I mean, it's true. They have no idea. They're kind of just rolling with the punches. It's like, oops, we can't die. Might as well just do whatever, I guess. Yeah. Like, there's no way to really find answers for that without getting, kidnapped and poked and prodded, which is something they don't want. And they've learned over the years is a very bad thing. And as they're going through all of this, before we do, actually, we do see her notice a lock. I do want to point that out. She notices a seatbelt with a lock on it. It's very much Chekhov's lock. Like, once you see it, it's got to come back. And it will in a second. But Niall starts praying. And Andy immediately goes, God doesn't exist. Like just flat out. Yeah. And again shows that Andy's a very cynical person. It's been established that she doesn't believe that small actions help anymore. So why would she believe in a higher power that has the ability to take action at all if she's been through what she's been through? So it's very consistent with her character. She also says that at one point she was worshipped as a god, which I do believe. Because, like, you've been through that many years, and maybe you've been around people for long enough, they go, oh, you're not aging, you must be a god. Or the opposite, you're not aging, you must be a witch. Like, yeah, it must be interesting to see all the different reactions to that over the years. And Niall is like, hey, you said you had an army. How many are you? And she's like, 4. You're an army of 4? Yeah. Like, yeah, that's really all we need, honestly. Yeah. It's fine. And Niall obviously still doesn't believe any of this. She's like, you must have drugged me or something, and that was a blank you shot me with. And she was like, oh, yeah, and I was the one who cut your throat? Did I do that too? And obviously Niall's, like, slightly believing it. She's questioning it. She's confused. Fucking weird is going on. And so she's like, you know, if I were you, get some sleep. That's the best thing you can do right now. it's gonna be weird for the first whoever knows how long this is going on. And however, when Andy wakes up, Chekhov's lock is now attached to her
Yeah.
wrist. Niall, very resourceful, has locked her up, taken the gun, pointed at the pilot, and is like, we're not going to Paris. We are going probably to, I don't know, a base or something where she can get back and to safety, in quotes, that she thinks that, would be safety. And Andy looks at the pilot and says something to him in Russian. She says, oh, she's not going to shoot you, I am. And then she says something in Russian. Shoots him. He falls down. Which will come back. Well, this will obviously it'll come back in a couple seconds, but like it also comes back way later.
Yeah.
Yes. So we will see more of that in a second. And she's like, "You don't speak Russian, do you?" It's like, "No, why?" And she says, "Oh, because I told him to play dead." And he immediately sits up and takes back control of the plane, which thank God, because I mean, Andy can probably fly a plane. I'm sure she can. She's been around a few years. Must have learned a thing or two. Also, she says we could jump from the plane and survive.
Well, obviously, yeah, they don't.
Obviously. I mean, maybe not ideal. Probably hurts.
I mean, it would hurt, but like you'd still live. Who cares?
But you'd still live. Like, it's not like you're gonna die. Might as well jump from the plane. Which also kind of has a full circle moment later, which we'll get to. Because Niall says, I'm not jumping from a plane. We will first full circle back to that way later in the movie. And as the pilot takes control of the plane again, we get kind of like a fight. We get an immortal fight. Like, neither of them can kill each other. Might as well fight it out. And Andy ends up taking a couple of very specific blows to her that break bones. Like, I'm pretty sure she breaks her leg at one point, and she breaks her arm at one point. And Niall's laying there on the floor like, motherfuck. Like, evidently I can't beat you. And she's like, hey, see? You're already healing faster. That makes Niall look down. And this is when she believes it. Because she can see it with her eyes. It's not like, oh, you were shot in the head. It's like, but was I? I'm not sure. Was I there? Because she wasn't there for that.
Yeah.
She was dead for that. Like, but this time she's seeing it with her eyes. Her bones are going back into place. And she's healing really quickly. So this is when she actually starts believing that all this is going to happen. Or that all this is happening. And she does say she has people who love her, and she's a Marine, and she's got to go back, and Andy's like, you're not a Marine anymore. It's not, you can't go back to your old life. You can't go back to any of that. This is who you are now. Sorry. Sucks, but gotta roll with the punches.
Yeah.
So this is when Niall kind of like is like, okay, fine, fuck it, I'll come with you, because no other choice really. So we arrive in Goussonville, France, which is just outside of Paris. It's kind of an abandoned area because they weren't really able to sell any houses there because of a plane that just kept flying right on over. It's right near the airport, so planes would just fly over and it would shake everything. It would have been the worst place to live.
Yeah.
So it's kind of abandoned. And in the book, when they get to this safe house, everything's already happened. Like, Booker is like laying in a chair, blowing up, and Joe and Nikki are gone.
Oh.
So this whole part where they're sitting down, talking, sleeping, not in the book.
Oh.
It's kind of like all this info is sprinkled into her throughout the graphic novel, or the first one. So this little moment of giving us the lore, honestly, this is what I like to think of it. This is a good little lore dump kind of scene where they arrive at the safe house and they're all having dinner and chatting about what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And she's like, I dreamed of you guys. Why? And Nikki's like, oh, we dream of each other. They stop when we meet. Or someone says that. I'm not sure who. But Joe and Nikki, this really shows the difference, because Joe and Nikki agree that it's kind of like destiny, which is why those dreams happen. And Booker says it's more like misery loves company, which Andy agrees with.
Yeah.
And it really showcases how being together has made Joe and Nikki like look at life positively, while Andy and Booker have kind of been left to bounce their negativity off each other. Like, they're both the youngest and the oldest of the group, and they're cynical as fuck. Like,
Well, it also makes sense because like Joe and Nikki, I think they're their names.
mhm,
They like they're together. They found each other. They
mhm,
fell in love. All that stuff. Where Booker and Andy, I'm assuming, aren't and haven't, and so they don't see the positives of this. They just see the negative
yeah,
because if it weren't for this, then Joe and Nikki wouldn't have never found each other and wouldn't have got together.
yeah.
So yeah,
As he says later, like you and Nikki always had each other. All me and Andy had was our grief,
yeah,
because the second Joe and Nikki first died, they died together. They killed each. They actually killed each other. They
yeah,
mentioned they're like, oh yeah, we killed each other. Um, and so they were always near each other. They were always together. But when Andy first died and when Booker first died, they were by themselves in this. They
yeah,
didn't. They hadn't found their group yet before they were alone. So Joe and Nikki were never alone. So it really shows the difference in, like, I don't know, kind of a nature and nurture versus kind of way
yeah.
of why their personalities formed the way they did. We get to learn more about the characters in this moment. So we have Booker. His full name is Sebastien Lelievre. He's French. He died fighting Napoleon, or fighting with Napoleon. Fighting with Napoleon. And he was found in 1812. That's when he died. So his age is about 255 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So this is when I went through the ages. I was trying to figure out everyone's age.
Okay.
Joe and Nikki fought in the Crusades. This took me a second to figure out. Nikki, whose full name is Niccolo de Genova, is Italian. And from what I could tell by research, the Italians were on the side of the Christians. Joe, his full name is Yusuf al-Kaysani, who was born in North Africa. So I'm presuming since they were on opposite sides, Joe was fighting on the Muslim side. So that's how they killed each other. Yeah, so that makes Joe around 950 years old and Nikki around 956 years old, give or take.
Okay.
So similar ages, because they died about the same time,
Yeah.
or in almost the same time, things like that. And Andy, who Niall correctly guesses, she's like, "Yeah, you're the oldest. I can tell. You are very. You give that aura." Her name is Andromache of Scythia, and she won't say her age. She just keeps saying, "Oh, I'm old enough." But after some research, I've been able to kind of pinpoint around how old she is. Now, she could be between 2,300 and 2,900 years old.
Okay.
Around. In the graphic novel, I don't know, I maybe I fucked up, maybe the graphic novel fucked up, I don't know. But in the graphic novel, she says point blank later on in the novel, I'm 6,732 years old, give or take a handful.
Wow.
So I no fucking clue what the truth is. But like research has led me to believe she's between 2,300 and 2,900 because that's when kind of the Scythians were around. I took from the moment they were like migrating and the moment that they kind of stopped migrating and kind of like died out. I kind of like used those as bookends, but like no idea where the 6,000 came from. Maybe I fucked up. I don't know. But if you guys know it all, please enlighten me. So Niall also learns in this moment that there is a possibility that they can die. They're not actually fully immortal. But reason seems to be tied to it. Like it's not their time, is what they keep saying.
Yeah.
Which is kind of it's like the universe is kind of taking charge of this whole thing. And one of Andy's friends in the past, we kind of get a little flash towards him. His name was Lycan. I'll mention him now. He was their friend, and then he died, and that was the first one that died where they went, oh fuck, like we can actually die. Like
Yeah.
shit. It just has to be your time. So evidently, I in the book as well, it shows that there's like the doctor that's experimenting on them, like with Merrick. They can't find anything. They're like, they just seem to be men. Like
Yeah.
nothing seems to be different in their biology at all. Which really speaks to the fact that it's just not their time yet. Like, oops, just haven't died yet. We're all normal. It's not our time yet. This is very cool to think about, honestly. I want to research more into that. Um, and after they all decide to go to sleep, Andy is sitting alone in a chair. She hasn't gone to sleep yet. And she stops and she looks at her hand kind of strangely. Like she feels different, like something feels different.
Hmm.
I believe this is the moment in the film that she lost her immortality.
Yeah.
Like she's been immortal for so long, she probably does not remember what it feels like to not be immortal. So the second something changes in her body, she probably notices it.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if this is that moment, because why else would she be looking at her hand like that? She's probably like, damn, I'm tired. Why am I so fucking tired? Like,
Yeah.
it's probably that moment. That's my guess, at the very least. And while she's sitting there, we go over to Niall, who's kind of tossing and turning in her sleep. She is dreaming up Quinn. And Quinn is not in the books, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll mention this now. I think she's originally the character Noriko, because there's a character in the books called Noriko. I can't remember if it's the same character in the second book because I read it and then I forgot. So I have to reread that. I would have done, but I had no time. But similar circumstances where like she found Noriko, just like Andy found Quinn in the film, is like, oh, I'm not the only one. Thank fuck. And they kind of went through life, and then evidently what happened to Noriko in the graphic novels was they were on a ship doing some kind of battle, and Noriko just like ends up falling from a ship
Hmm.
during that battle and into the ocean, and is presumed to have finally died because she didn't come back up.
Hmm.
I don't know if she went looking for her. I'll have to read that in the second graphic novel, but very different to the film. Basically, they say this is why we fear capture. At some point, it was just the two of them for the longest time, and then I'm presuming Lycan came through, and then he disappeared as well,
Yeah.
or he left or he died. And eventually, they were accused of witchcraft because they were hung for it, and they just didn't die while they
They were
were
still
hanging
there.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were still there, they're still alive, and everyone's like, "Oh fuck, obviously they're witches then." So they decided to separate them because they thought they were too dangerous together.
Hmm.
Quinn was put in an iron coffin and sent to the bottom of the ocean, where she would then spend over 500 years dying over and
Yeah.
over and over again. And Niall says, like, I can feel her pain. She feels crazy. And I would be too. Like,
Yeah.
dying that like over and over again for hundreds of years, that's my mental state gone. Like,
No. Yeah. No. No one would be sane after that.
no one would be sane after that. Which is why I'm excited for the next movie. But we'll get there when we get there. Um, but apparently they did try looking for her after Andy escaped. It was her, Joe and Nikki probably because Booker didn't come around till 1812, and they said we looked everywhere. We even found some of the people that had originally cast her off from the ship. We have no idea where she is. She looked for her for a very long time and eventually had to give up. And
Just for the record, I
she's
knew she
like,
would come back at the end.
oh yeah, good.
I was 100% like, okay, we're definitely gonna see her again. I wasn't sure if she was maybe working
Yeah.
with the people already or whatever, or we get that little end credit scene with her. I don't know, but like,
Hmm.
I didn't know like she's definitely come back. Maybe in the second movie,
Yeah.
I had no idea, but I knew she was not dead. I knew she was gonna come back and
Yeah.
play a bigger role moving forward.
Exactly. Once you see like a character like that and you get this full backstory with flashbacks, and you even see like her and Andy have a conversation where they seem very close, and it's like, well, she can't be dead. This isn't just to be like, oh, you see what Andy lost? No, because then that would be a plot device.
Well, I mean, and it could have been because like what the other guy when he died, like that was
Lycan. Yeah, but the thing is, he was there for 1 second.
yeah, I could see them have killing her off, like, but we wouldn't need to see
Yeah.
her actually be killed off. Like, her time had to come,
Exactly.
and she had to die, and like kind of like the
Yeah.
other guy did. Like, because they could have shown why she's so cynical about this and life is because everyone she gets close to does end up dying. But
Exactly.
because we never saw her actually die, we never saw it was her time. She's just
Yeah.
thrown in an iron coffin and thrown into the ocean. I was like, there's no way she's dead because
Hmm.
I mean, unless Andy was like, oh no, we found her body and her time must have came during those years or whatever. And like
Yeah. Like
if
at
we
some
got
even if she was dead, she'd come back. Yeah.
yeah, so I knew right away we were gonna see her again, and sure enough, we did at the end. So that was
The
cool.
story would have to be finished, and it honestly it's too much really good untapped potential of her like being down there for 500 years,
Mm.
being driven insane by dying over and over and over again. Like that's a story right there that you could like take and be like, oh, this is what happened after. Like that's too much good untapped
Well, it looks
potential.
like
That
that's what's gonna happen. I'm assuming she's gonna be the next antagonist in the next movie.
quite possibly we shall see. I have to reread the second novel. Also, she's not in it, but like, you know, adjacent, isn't it? So, but Andy does basically say like, because it's Niall who goes like, oh, you this like affected you or like something like that, and she's like, well, I lost a soldier. It's like it was more than that because that was her person. Like
Yeah.
that it was just the two of them for the longest time. Like imagine losing the only other person you had and being alone. Like it's got to do something to you. And as they're having this discussion, we see some movement outside. There's some soldiers with guns, or got people with guns, bad people with guns. Let's just put it out there. Running around the house with their guns, ready to get in. And Andy ends up going outside for a bit, and Niall follows her, and they kind of have a discussion about like, you know, her really not wanting to do this, and she's like, there's no good in any of this, and she's like, well, we can take care, I know this is hard, but like we can take care of you here, we're a family. And she's like, you took care of Quentin, and she's like, okay, well. I'm like, yeah, you just bestie, you just got here, okay?
I know.
You can't be whipping
I
out
was
your
like,
name
that's a
like that.
low blow. I mean, she's not wrong,
Yeah,
but like
she's
that was a
not
low
wrong.
blow.
I was like, you can't be whipping out her name like that. You just got here. But like, I do see the point she's making as well.
Yeah.
Um, and at that moment, they hear a boom, some shooting. So they're like, fuck, they found us. So they head over. They get into the room, and Bunker is sitting in his chair, blown to pieces. Especially like his stomach. Apparently, a grenade landed in his lap. That must suck.
Okay, hang on. If a grenade landed in his lap, more than just his stomach would have exploded, I feel like.
Well, there is a hole in him, so you know.
No, but like I feel like his head and like everything would have exploded if that was the case.
I will say, in the novel, there's like a giant divot in his head like this. Like there's just like it takes a second to come back and heal, and you do see it kind of heal throughout the. But like there's like a whole ass like his brain is like in half. Like,
Yeah.
so it's more graphic in the novel. Yeah.
Ah.
But yeah, it's I think they kind of tampered it down a little bit for the film, and also they were probably like, how the fuck are we gonna make it look like his head is in half? Like,
Well, I thought it was because this was like, Booker was in on this, and like they kind
that
of like
too.
it wasn't actually a grenade. It was more just like they made it look like it and didn't actually use it or something. I don't know.
I think there's a bunch of ways we could go about like, thinking about this. It could have not landed in his lap, and he could have said that because it was like, oh, I'm incapacitated. He could have just like put that adjacent. But also, the guards who threw it at him, probably similar to the guards who originally shot them in that bunker, and was like, oh no, he's dead. we don't need him. He's dead. We're gonna go. Like, not realizing, hey, he could come back in a second. Give him a second. Like, it's a big wound, so it'll take a second. But yeah, so there's a lot of ways to look at it of what the fuck happened here, but there is more or less a hole in his stomach. So he is incapacitated, and Andy does think for a moment that he is dead.
Yeah.
Because it takes him a fucking second to wake back up, and she has to like fully like slap him in the face to get him to wake up again. Which he probably was like, "Fuck, why would you do that? Like, I want you to die." But he does come back. It does take a second to heal, and he does mention to Niall, he's like, "Oh, it's not always like this, Big wounds take longer to heal." And she's like, "Yeah, sure." She's like, "I don't give a like, yeah, this you can't paint this good. Like, you can't paint this in a positive light for me. This is not gonna go well." So Joe and Nikki are gone. They have been taken in the midst of all of this, and Andy's like, okay, wait for my signal. Get all our shit packed. I'm gonna take these guys. And Nala's like, what the fuck? What's signal? And he's like, you'll know it. It's fine. You'll know when it happens. And he's being very vague about it because, like, honestly, it might always be vague. It's just whatever big thing happens is the signal.
Yeah.
Like, there may never be a very direct signal. It's just like, oh yeah, that one. Like, whatever happens in the moment. And basically, what Andy's doing now is taking out all the soldiers that are in the church right now. And she uses one of my favorite, like, combat moves. Because I've seen this one other time in a film called Serenity, which is a movie that is based on the TV show Firefly. It, like, basically a sequel to the TV show Firefly, because that only lasted, like, I want to say like 12 or 14 episodes. And everyone was like, excuse the fuck out of me, some things were not wrapped up. And so they were like, here's the movie. And in the movie, there's a character called River, and she jumps into this, like, pit of, like, they're not zombies, but I'll call them zombies for the sake of it. They're a bunch of, like, angry, diseased people, and she's in the middle of a circle of them. And just like Andy jumps down into a circle of these guards, and she takes a sword in one hand and axe in the other, and she goes like this and takes all of them out. Just like, yeah. she bet I can't bend backwards like that, but she just like takes them out like that. I've seen that twice in my life. It's so pretty. I love that. Like, it's like a dance. It's like, oh my god, I love it. Like, honestly, there's very few times I like violence, and this is one of them. And while she's fighting, the camera really makes sure that you notice that she is stabbed by one of the guards by a very small blade in the shoulder, so it shouldn't be a problem. But the camera's like, look, this happened. She was stabbed. And it seemed to hurt. Like, obviously it hurts every time, but she's just like, oh, fuck. Like, it's very there. You very much notice it. And there is a reason for that, and we will get there. And meanwhile, they're still waiting for the signal in the other room.
Yeah.
And she does end up leaving the room, killing the other guys, and while this is happening, Copley and Mr. Keene are in the van right now, watching all of this on camera, and he's like, Mr. Keene, I strongly suggest that we leave right now. Like, everyone's dead on the cameras. No one has survived. They're all gone. So he's like, you know what? Preservation. Let's fucking go. And they finally get the signal from Andy as well. Like, they're in the, how the fuck do you even tell what the signal is? Boom. A wall is blasted open. She's like, oh.
There it is.
That's the signal. There's the signal. And as they leave, they're looking out at all these bodies. Niall specifically is like, oh my god, Andy did all this? And Booker says, he's like, yeah, that woman has forgotten more ways to kill than armies will ever learn.
Yeah.
Fucking insane, bro. Like, she took all of them out. Single-handedly. It was like a 1v15. Like, easy. No problem there. And they leave the house. They see Andy standing over by the car, covered in blood. And they're like, okay, time to go. So they leave, and we flash over to the truck. Okay, I'm gonna rant about this scene because I love it. I remember watching this for the first time during COVID. I was sitting at my dining room table. This movie, I clicked on it because I was bored.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sitting at my table during COVID, and I was like, I'll watch something random on Netflix. Oh, okay, I'll watch this. Whatever. Great choice. And this scene really made me think it was a great choice. I watched the scene and I was like, oh, this is a movie for me. This is a movie for me. So Joe and Nikki are in this van, this truck, after being kidnapped. And Joe is like, hey, are you okay? Because Nikki is like unresponsive at the moment, so he's like, wake up, wake up. They're speaking to each other in Italian because Nikki is originally Italian. And all the soldiers are like, hey, stop talking. Like, you're not here to chit-chat. We're here to kidnap you. Whatever. Jesus. And he's like, I just need to know he's okay. Like, let me make sure he's okay. Fine, I'll shut the fuck up, you asshole. But like, let me make sure he's okay. And the guard is like, oh, that's sweet. What is he, your boyfriend? And Joe's response to this is perfect because it's just silence for a moment. He goes, "You're a child. Like, you're an actual child. Your mocking is thus infantile. He's not my boyfriend. I will say this whole thing. This man is more to me than you can dream. He's the moon when I'm lost in darkness, and the warmth when I shiver in cold, and his kiss still thrills me even after a millennia." This is the most romantic shit I've ever heard in my life. He also says something that is very much speaks to Nikki's character. His heart overflows with the kindness of which this world is not worthy. Nikki is the dreamer. Nikki is the one who sees the positive in the world. And Joe sees that. And he loves him for it. And he's like, I love this man beyond measure and reason. He's not my boyfriend. He's more to he's all and he is more. I love it. I love them so much. I just love them so much. They're just great. Meanwhile, they're making out, and the guards are like, "But okay, yeah, no."
They're making out at night, though.
Okay, yeah, shut the fuck up.
It's at night.
I'll kill you. I swear to God.
No, that again. That's seriously what I thought of when I saw the picture, and this. I was like, "Wait, it's at night." I was like, "Ah, it's at night."
Fine, I'll take a win where I can get it.
It's like that one episode of SpongeBob where like they're working the night shift and he's like, "Oh, I'm cleaning the toilet at night.
Oh my God.
I'm mopping the floor at night. I'm kissing in the back of the truck at night."
I swear to God. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Nice.
That's what I'm just saying. It's at night. All of this is at night, is it not?
It's at night.
At night.
At night. That's gonna be a thing now. Whenever we do shit, they'll be like, "Hey, they're kissing at night."
At night.
Oh my God. Meanwhile, the guards are confused. It's like they're like, "They're really just making out in our van like this? We got guns."
At night.
Fuck off. So they do separate them. Like, "Hey, you can't be kissing in here. Like, you can't be doing that. Shut the fuck up." And the van pulls up to the plane.
At night.
I'm gonna fucking kill you. And the second that the guards by the plane open the door, everyone just falls out. All the guards, dead, fall out of the truck, and they're like, "Oh, shit." And they look up, and Joe and Nicky are just standing there like, could you get these cuffs off of us? Like, please? Like, kind of uncomfortable. Like, I don't suppose you could get these off us. And they're like, okay, fuck that. Like, get them on the plane. Get them on the plane. Yeah. And they're like, oh, I guess not. I guess we're going. And, they're very cavalier about all this because it's like, it's not like we're gonna die, right?
Yeah, they're chill. They're
chill. And, they're like, oh, like, you're gonna take us to the person who paid for your betrayal, I'm assuming. And Joe's like, oh, this is a nice plane. Snazzy. And I have another dialogue highlight here, which is literally purely just for my own amusement, of Nikki, who's in the plane. You just hear his voice go, "There's a TV, Joe!" Just fucking love how, like, just chill there about all this. It's so funny. So now we are a bit further away from our safe house in France. They're still in France. And they've reached an abandoned mine that they haven't really been to in a while. They've been using the other safe house. But Andy has kind of left a lot of her stuff here over the years. So in this mine, there's like a whole plethora of just old stuff. Like, that she's just thrown into this cave. And at one point, Niall is like, oh my God, this is a Rodin, which is like a famous sculptor or something like that. I know I've heard his name, but I don't know much about art. It's like, this is an honest to God Rodin. Holy shit. And this is a nice little kind of nod to the book a little bit, because in the books she just go, oh my God, this is an honest to God Rodin. That's crazy. And then skips over. But in the book, I think it's Andy at one point is like, hey, like, you seem to know a lot about art. And she's like, yeah, my mom and I used to watch Antiques Roadshow a lot. I was going to major in art history after I got out of the Marines, and it's her whole thing. She just loves art and art history. So I feel like this is a nice little nod to that, because while it doesn't go into explaining all of it like it does in the book, it kind of cuts off immediately. It's still very much, oh, this is part of her character. This is something that she loves. That's just human, you know. It's not, has nothing to do with all the immortality and craziness, but it's, you see her personality kind of shine through in that little moment, which is nice. Also, my mom majored in art history, so
Oh, nice.
very cool. So I know a couple little things about art because she's always like, "Oh, do you know what that is?" Like she'll like point at shit. But yeah, that's who Niall is. She loves art. She loves antiques. She loves old things. And we skip away from the abandoned mine for a moment to go to London. And actually, in the novel, they're not in London. They're in Dubai for this entire last bit. It's all takes place in Dubai in the graphic novel, but here it's in London. And they meet Stephen Merrick, Joe, and Nikki. And he is full of himself.
Yeah.
Very much so. And I have another little dialogue highlight. He says, there's always, you know, lab mice. We use lab rats and things like this for to test on all of these things. You're just another in a long line of lab rats. And my dialogue highlight is Joe saying, "He thinks you're a mouse, Nikki." It's just random little shit where they're just like, they're chill, you know? It's not a big deal to them. And I feel like, obviously, it is a big deal to be captured. They have said that. But the way they're acting so chill about everything, I think is partially to put Merrick at unease. To be like, oh, this is just normal. This, bruh, you could do whatever you fucking want. It's fine. It's chill. Like, I feel like that's just to put him at a little bit of level of unease.
Yeah.
Just like, why are they not scared? It's freaking me out. Now Merrick is looking to make a drug from whatever they find in these guys that are making them immortal. And he says they're morally, in quotes, obliged to take what they want, but it's very obvious that he's doing all of this for money and ego.
Yes.
I was going to say money and power, but his ego is a very big thing in this movie because when the first time he meets Joe and Nikki, he says, "Hi, I'm the youngest CEO in pharma." Like, he makes sure to make that point. Instead of being like, "I'm a CEO," he's like, "I'm the youngest one. I'm pretty cool. I'm pretty great." So his ego is a very big thing for him. And as he literally stabs them, which I said before, it's much more gruesome in the graphic novel. But he's like, "I need proof myself." So he stabs Joe. Joe immediately heals, and he's like, "What do you see?" And his scientist friend is like, "Oh, the Nobel Prize. We're gonna make some money off this. We're gonna get awards. This is gonna be great." And as they're taken away, Copley follows and is like, I thought we were doing this for science. Like, this doesn't seem like he's obviously very in this for the scientific reasons and for the help that it could provide humanity. And he's like, whatever the fuck this is, like, I'm starting to not like it. Like, you're out here just stabbing people for the fun of it. Like, not here for that. So this is when he starts to kind of question Merrick's methods at the moment, I think, where he starts to like stray from him. Oh my god, we're only halfway through. I can't remember, my voice can't be doing this. So back in the abandoned mine. Back in the abandoned mine. They are trying to find Copley and Joe and Nikki by extension. And while Niall and Booker are talking about how to look for in the background, Andy is like, "My shoulder still hurts. Something's wrong." And she remembers the guard stabbing her that we saw that moment of, and she's like, "Fuck." And while all this is happening, when Niall and Booker are talking, they're talking about, you know, the best way to find, you know, follow the money, things like that. I wish there was a little nod in here to like, how are you getting, I wish she said something like, "How are you getting Wi-Fi in here?" or something like that. I wish, because in the book, that's how she figures out that it was him the whole time.
Oh, really?
Yes, it wasn't like in the movie. Obviously, we see like the empty ammo, like cartridge, from a gun, but in the book, she's getting in an elevator with Andy and Booker, and she was just like, "Andy, something doesn't feel right about this. Like, I know you're not big on technology, but Booker was explaining all this shit, and I don't know how he was getting Wi-Fi in a fucking cave, like he said he was looking through all this, but he can't be doing that. There's no Wi-Fi in the fucking cave, like." So I wish they had a nod to that by her just going, "How you getting Wi-Fi in here?" Like, I wish that would have been so fucking funny, but um yeah, during all this, Andy notices her shoulder, and so she leaves. She's like, "I'm going into town." Puts on a jacket, leaves. They're like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Fine, fine," and she leaves. And when she does, we get kind of a moment of Niall putting her hand in the fire, just to, like, she's intrigued by all this. Like, she's new. She's not going to immediately be like, "Oh, like I know everything about this." So she's just like, "Oh, well, let's see what happens. I'm gonna put my hand in the fire and see how fast I heal." And it does obviously still hurt, which is my next dialogue highlight, which is from Booker. "Just because we keep living doesn't mean we stop hurting," which is very deep, if you think about it. Like, yeah, you hurt physically, obviously, but it obviously brings mental pain as well because of what Booker and Andy are feeling. So yeah, she's burned, but she heals pretty much immediately. Starting to get faster already. And we learn more about Booker as well, because she says she wants to contact her family because she misses them. You know, she wants to hear her mom's voice. And Booker says that he had 3 sons who obviously have all died by now. It was like 1812 when he died. And he said the last of which died of cancer. And around the end of that, Booker was still around and obviously wasn't aging. And his son was visibly upset with him. He's like he said, "If you try to touch their lives, they'll beg you to share your secret with them and to help them, and you will not be able to because you have no idea what the fuck is happening yourself, and they will hate you for it, and you'll see the hate in their eyes, and you'll never be able to move on from that. You'll never forget it." So it's very obvious that this has affected him so deeply. Like, this is why he's so cynical about the world, because this has hurt him. He says you'll know what it's like to lose everyone you've ever loved, to truly lose them, not just because they've died and because you've watched them died, but because you've also lost their trust and their love, which is like, fucking ow. Like, he's really lost shit. And cutting to the convenience store, Andy is confused because obviously she's never had to use first aid before. She's never had to heal. So she's like walking down the first aid aisle, kind of like tossing a couple things into her cart, looking at stuff closely. She's just, I don't know what the fuck any of this is supposed to do for me. She's never had to worry about stitches or disinfectant or anything like that because she heals so quickly. And the shop worker is there, and she's gonna ring her up. And she said, and Andy asks if there's a bathroom that she could use, and she was like, "No, but we have a storeroom. Do you need help?" And I love this small moment between her and this cashier because it seems kind of insignificant, um, but it actually speaks volumes as to what Andy's kind of gone through in life. Because I've written this down as a dialogue highlight. She says, "Today, I put this on your wound. Tomorrow, you help someone up when they fall. We're not meant to be alone." And it kind of foreshadows the end of the movie, where the work they've done is almost kind of like a butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Like, they help one person, and then later another person from, like, maybe that line or someone that they've helped will then do this amazing thing that helps civilization as a result. And I honestly, it took me, I think I noticed her say this and I pieced it together a couple months ago. I've been watching this movie for like 4 or 5 years. And just now when I watched the scene, I went, "Oh my fuck, that's exactly what Andy does." Like, it's this random shop worker is like understands like humanity at a core level, I would say. Like this is how I like to go about life, is like help people, and they'll help people after that. Like you need help. What does it matter why? Like all the things she's saying, I believe. Like we're not meant to be alone. We're meant to help each other. Fucking love this random shop worker. We don't even know her name. She's only in it for a second, but she foreshadows the end of the movie, and it's really interesting. I love it. It's a great scene. Um, so this basically confirms that Andy is not healing anymore. And I also want to point out that in the novel, this doesn't happen. She still has her immortality in book one.
Really?
Yeah. Rereading book one, and I was like, wait, oh my god, I forgot that. And she literally doesn't lose her immortality. I don't know if she loses it in the second book or the third book. I have forgotten. I also have not read the third book. No idea. But she fully does not lose it in book one, like the movie suggested. There's multiple moments in here, like from here, like in the end of the movie, where she just like shot lives, like she's fine. She looks like maybe she's feeling a little more in the graphic novel. Like she's like it takes her. There's multiple sentences where she's after she's shot and she's like, ugh, like it takes her a second to like not be in pain. So I'm wondering if it's just like slowly leaving her, and that's the first sign you see of it. But she does heal. So back in London, Merrick is planning on keeping Joe and Nikki locked up forever, basically. Yeah. And the scientist is in there doing her shit. She's like basically like poking and prodding them, for lack of a better word, while they're awake. Super nice of her. Wow. Gee, thanks, lady. And Copley is like, okay, whoa, whoa. This is not what we agreed. This is, I'm starting to question you on some of these things, because what do you mean you're going to keep them locked up as long as it takes? It could be years, it could be decades. What the fuck are you talking about? He's like, well, yeah, if they leave, they could fall into my competitors' laps. And he's like, dude, like this is, you're capturing humans here. This is like kidnapping. And he's like, well, it's fine. What's it to them? A decade, a year, like that's not going to be anything for them. They're going to live forever. Might as well take what I can now. And meanwhile, with Joe and Nikki in the other room, Joe's asleep. Nikki is kind of talking to this scientist, this doctor, and she's like, "Oh, this is. Can you feel the wound trying to close? Oh, this is so interesting." And Nikki even says to her, "Like, you're not going to be able to give him what he wants. Like, obviously, maybe he's been through this before." And she's like, "Oh, you think I'm unethical?" He's like, "I would say immoral." And she says, "Well, I believe I can change the world." And that brings us to another dialogue highlight where he says, "A fine justification. I've heard it so many times before." Like, he's been around long enough to see people like say the same shit to him over and over and over again. And it's obviously come out the same way every time. It's like, you can try. Go ahead. I'm not going anywhere, but like it's not gonna do anything. Like, oh well. And then Joe and Joe wakes up and they have a little moment. It's super cute. And back in the abandoned mine, we kind of flip flop. Niall wakes up. She ends up going outside. Andy's kind of chilling out there with her phone. She's like, "Oh yeah, I totally have your phone. I've had it the whole time." And she gives it to her, and apparently on her lock screen is her mom and her brother. And she was like, "Yeah, so my dad was in the picture, but he died when she was 11. He was killed in action, so he was also a soldier." And she said there's a million ways it could have gone left. We were in the south side of Chicago. It's where we grew up, and my mom was drowning when he died. It could have all gone sideways, but she kept us safe and she kept us on a good path. And we all, moved on from her dad dying, and they grew from it. And I have another dialogue highlight here from Andy where she says, "You come from warriors." Like she sees that and she sees a warrior, because that's originally like she was born a warrior, so like she recognizes that in her, which is really cool. Like it might look different a million or 1,000 years down the line, but it's the base is still there. Like you're a warrior. Love that. Great dialogue. And she kind of mentions Quinn. She says she stopped searching for her. She really regrets it because she made Quinn a promise and she broke it. And she says, I'm not going to break the promise this time. We're getting Joe and Nikki back, whatever it takes. And Niall takes notice when Andy says whatever it takes. She's like, what do you mean whatever it takes? Because it's not something that's usually in her vocabulary. Because similar to whatever it costs, kind of, she's only thinking of saying things like that now because she could very well die rescuing them. Like she wouldn't have said that before because it wouldn't really cost them anything. It wouldn't really take anything. They'd live.
Yeah.
But now it's a factor. We head to London because Booker pops us out. He's like, I've traced everything to a house.
Yes.
Outside of London, in Surrey, mind you. My grandma used to live in Surrey for a bit.
Ah.
Yeah, Surrey has a lot of horses. There's like
horses I like horses.
Yeah, like wild horses. They're like just around. They're just
That's
like
awesome.
Grazing. I remember driving past them once. I was like, we were just like driving to my grandma's house or something. I looked out the window. I was like, oh, horses! They were just chilling. So yeah, whenever you see like things from Surrey, like we had coasters for a while, I think, that we bought like at a little shop in Surrey that have horses on them. So like
cool.
A lot of the souvenirs from Surrey have like horses on them. Surrey's very pretty. So they apparently have traced stuff to a house in Surrey. Okay. So they get there, and when they park, Booker gives Andy a gun. He loads it, presumably, hands it to Andy, who puts it in her back pocket, and sends him to go take the other side of the house. And at that moment, Niall's like, she gives Niall a gun, and Niall's like, no, I can't do this. And she's like, oh, sure you can. Like you're used to fighting. And she's like, no, I don't want to do this. Like, they try. I killed the guy that killed me when I first died. And as a soldier, they like train you, like thousands of hours of training on how to kill someone, but they don't teach you how to live with it. And she saw what Andy did to all those people in the church, and she's like, is that supposed to be me? Because I don't think I could do that. Like, not just like do that as it is, but like live with it afterwards. And she also points out that like, yeah, she's gonna not grow old and her family will, but it's gonna be years before they even notice that. So she still has some time with them. I would point out to Niall that their soldiers could show up at her door and be like, hey, you went AWOL.
I mean, yeah, but
which is a concern. But like, she does still have time with her family, and she wants to prioritize that because that's been her life this whole time. Is her family, is her life. So, and Andy's like, okay, like, she recognizes that. And also, I think she recognizes it more now that she's not immortal. Yeah. And she's like, hey, you're gonna live forever. I'm not, but like, you are. So you might as well just take the time you have now that you have it. So she's like, fine, here, take the car, ditch the weapons before you park it somewhere, and take this gun with you just in case. And she takes the gun out of her back pocket that Booker had given her before she leaves. So Niall's gone. She's leaving. And as she's driving away, she parks the car and she goes to ditch the guns. And she goes to take the ammo out of the gun that Andy gave her, so it's like completely like not dangerous, not lethal to someone who finds it. And it's empty. It was never loaded. The gun that Booker gave Andy, that he looked like he loaded, was not loaded. So that's when Niall puts two and two together and is like, fuck, Andy's in danger. Because Booker is sus. Booker wants her to get captured. It's like, whoa, what the fuck? At this point, it's kind of easy to put two and two together on why, because like throughout this whole movie, you've seen him go, God, it fucking sucks to be alive. Like, like I hate the world. I hate being in the world. I don't want to be here. So it makes sense, like put two and two together on why he betrayed her, but it's still very much like, whoa, what the fuck? Like we're the only people who know what each other has gone through. Why would you do this to me, kind of thing? Because when she gets to the house and she confronts Copley, Copley looks chill as a cucumber because he knows that Booker is on his side, and Booker is because he shoots Andy in the stomach, thinking, oh, she'll just heal. This is the easiest way to take her down. And she's like, why would you do this? Like she looks heartbroken because like this 200 years they've known each other. It's like, why? And he's like, if Merrick can figure out why we keep healing, maybe he can find a way to end it and we'll be able to finally die. I thought that's what you wanted. And honestly, I can see why he would have thought that, because honestly she did for a while. She was very cynical about the world, and she would have been fine with just dying as it is, but she would have never gone about it this way, betraying the people she cared about to do it. And also, it was just the two of them being cynical for it, so it would make sense that you would have done that to her. But also, it's kind of sucky that he did that to Joe and Nikki. Like, they obviously were fine with staying alive long, but he betrayed them as well. Like, I would have seen why he did that to Andy, because he figured they both would have wanted an out. But to do it to people who clearly were fine with not having an out is kind of sucky.
I mean, yeah, but also it's like sometimes you gotta be a little selfish because like he
Yeah.
needs to figure out how to die. Pretty much, he needs to figure out a way how to die, and also I'm assuming people weren't meant to live that long, and it's kind of like maybe it's for the best that we all die. Even if we have this gift, that doesn't mean we should have it or should use it, and it should just be like we should be extinct. We should not keep living for hundreds, thousands of years. We should have like a set time, and that should be it. So it's kind of like they had like how many 200 something 300 something years together.
Yeah, 200 years.
That should be more than enough. Like
Yeah.
if you think about it
He
that way too.
obviously, yeah, obviously it hit him the hardest. Like, we've seen it hit him the hardest. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's selfish because of how much pain it has caused him to be alive this long.
Yeah.
And also because he's one of the newer ones. He's newer than Joe, Nikki, and Andy, older than Niall, but he's, I think, at just the right age. Like, it's been what, he's 250 so years old, that it will, it's like he's not lived he's not lived long enough to forget all the pain he's gone through, or to at least work to put it past him, and he's not lived less enough to be like, oh, like I want to like maybe live a little longer just to see what this is. He's at the right age to be like, it's been too long. It's been way too long, even though it has been longer than other people, but
Yeah.
it's long enough to where he's like, I can't do this anymore. And so he shoots her, obviously, thinking she heals. And obviously she's not healing. And they're like, fuck, it's gone. The immortality's gone. So they're trying to stop the bleeding. And at that moment, Merrick shows up. And he's like, oh, yes, I've got all 4 immortals now. Great. And they're like, she's not healing. He's like, why? What the fuck happened? And it's like, and Booker's just like, it's gone. The immortality's gone. Because that's honestly all they really know. They don't know anything else. They don't know what caused it. They just go, oh, it's gone. Yeah, this just happens. And if you asked questions, maybe you would have known that. But no, you just decided to kidnap first. And I hate to say it, but Merrick does think on his feet pretty well. And he's like, something's changed between then and now. Let's find out what. So that is a smart tactic, to be like, hey, what's changed? Let's see the difference between these two cells, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But also, if it's just about the universe and whose time it is, you ain't gonna find shit.
Yeah.
It's nothing scientific, bro. In the book, it's more like the scientist, the doctor that's looking into all this, is more inclined to be like, I mean, maybe I can't find anything because this is out of science's reach. It's more of a universe thing, you know? The doctor in this does not do that, but the doctor in the book does. But at that moment, as they bring them all out, Copley is like, nah, this isn't what we agreed. I'm out. Like, I'm done. This is ridiculous. And they're like, okay, because they have all the immortals now. And so they don't really need him anymore. So they knock him out, or they punch him. I don't know. Someone hits him, and they dip with Andy and Booker in tow. So they now have 4 out of 5 immortals, or all 4. Thinking, yeah, assuming they have all 4, but no. And we now arrive at the it's not a hospital, it's not the Merrick Tower. I don't fucking know. The secret room where they're holding the immortals.
Yeah, the lab.
The lab. Thank you. I was looking for a word there. They arrive at the lab, and they're like, keep her alive. She might have the secret to all this because something's different, and we can compare shit. I don't fucking know. And Nikki says, all things die. Everything has to die, Mr. Merrick. And this is my dialogue highlight. He says, the only reason we haven't is that it is not our time yet. If it's now Andromache's, nothing you can do will stop it. And Merrick does say, oh, well, I can do a lot of shit. Like, your time is coming. And Nikki, just cool as a cucumber, goes, as is yours. Love. I love some of the dialogue in this. It's so, I don't know, like, it's, the way they say things is just very, yeah, whatever. Whatever happens kind of thing. And they have very calm energy, a lot of them, because they've been around for so long and they've seen everything, you know? They're used to it. Now, we head back to Surrey for the moment, and Niall, obviously having clocked onto the fact that Booker is sus, has come to Copley's house, and Copley tries to grab a gun when he notices she has one. She's like, no. And he's like, who are you? And this crazy bitch, I love her. To prove that she is an immortal, she shoots herself in the foot. She's insane. She's starting to fit in with the team. We love to see it. And he's like, oh fuck, you're another one. And she's like, yep, I'm new. But he says Merrick only wants them for what they have and their immortality, not for what she's done with it. And she's like, what she's done with it? What are you talking about? And he has a board.
Yes.
Which is one of the picture clues. A board connecting everything Andy and her team have done and who they've saved. Have that, like he said, this woman, she saved him and her grandson prevented a nuclear explosion and likely saved civilization as a result. Like, it's just butterfly effect after butterfly effect. Like, the reason the world is still turning is because of these people. Protecting famous people, unknown people, they're all just there making sure everything keeps turning. And Niall makes the point of, she's in it. She's in the middle of all of this, so she can't see everything that you can. Like, she does not know that the people she saved then go on to save other people and give birth to people who will save other people. She has no idea because she's so entrenched in the middle of it. And she makes a point of looking at him going, she couldn't see it, but you could, and you still gave her up to this random CEO. What the fuck? And I mean, that is a very good point. Like, he saw all the good that was happening from her being out and about, and he was like, I know, let's kidnap her and put her in. Like I don't know what his thought process was there, but also he's acting on his grief. Because Niall's like, why would you do that? He said, I thought it would be the end of disease. And he just goes into this whole thing of, she couldn't talk at the end, my wife. Like she couldn't breathe, she couldn't talk, she couldn't do anything. And it was probably very painful for him to watch, much like Booker and his son, you know? Yeah. And it manifested in, I need to end this for everyone. I don't want anyone else to go through what I went through. And I definitely see where he's coming from. And I think if they were to share their secret with the world, if they even knew how, That would be a very positive thing, possibly. I don't think the immortality would be a positive thing, because then, honestly, world would get overcrowded. It would. I don't think humans are meant to live forever. Um, Obviously, that's the byline of this movie. Like, we're not meant to live forever. But I do see where he's coming from. Like, he is trying to help. But my problem with that is, why didn't you ask?
Well,
obviously,
they wouldn't
obviously
have
they wouldn't have done
like
it.
agreed.
Obviously they wouldn't have agreed. But I think the main problem is that, like, he just was like, I know, let's kidnap him and do it. He took away their autonomy. I think that's the main problem I have with it. He was like, he treated them as lab mice, just like Merrick did. Just through, like, in technical terms. He didn't, like, poke and prod them, but he basically gave them up to be poked and prodded. He treated them like they were just other lab mice as well. He didn't treat them like human beings, which is my main problem with it. He took away their bodily autonomy without their consent, which is my problem.
I see that, but I also think that if he did ask, they wouldn't have agreed.
I agree.
They wouldn't have agreed, and then, like, his only way was to trick them into this, because they wouldn't have gone willingly. And in his mind, he thinks that if he can find a way to where they can find a way to, like, heal themselves and do all that stuff, he can use that to create, maybe not make people live forever, but maybe to make it to find antidotes to cure diseases and cure wounds that can be healed, and use it so people can just not die prematurely of, like, a gunshot wound or, like, cancer or stuff like that. Instead, get to be healed from that and get to go on and end up dying of old age, like people should do. And it's kind of one of the things where it's almost like a trolley problem, where it's like, is a few
Yeah,
lives worth hundreds or thousand millions of lives?
I do
So
see
it's
that.
kind of, if you think of it like that, it sucks for the 4 or 5 of them. But if he succeeded in this, imagine how much better it would be for the entire civilization, which is almost what Andy specifically wants. She wanted to find a good in civilization and couldn't. And if had this succeeded, that would have been good for civilization. That would have been a positive effect that she and the other immortals had on that.
I see what you're saying, but in this situation, I think it would have had the opposite effect. Because had they succeeded, that means Merrick would have succeeded, and he would have sold that drug for, like, millions of
See,
dollars.
that's the issue I have, was him specifically.
Yeah,
But I think
exactly.
in Copley, what's his name?
Copley, Copley.
In Copley's mind, had he succeeded the way he wanted to, this would have been a positive thing.
Yeah,
It was just he was working with the wrong person.
yeah.
That I think that was the big issue. It wasn't him. It wasn't the moral. It wasn't any of that. It was Merrick.
Merrick,
It was
yeah.
Merrick who was the issue in this equation. Had it been someone who wasn't a egotistical douche, I think it would have worked. I think this could have worked the way he wanted it to, in a positive way, to help people of sickness and, like, fatal wounds.
Yeah, I think the only problems I mean, the main problems I had with this were obviously Merrick, because of the way that would have turned out, but also the fact that he didn't really, he just thought, I know, I'll just kidnap these people. Like, I'll just find a way to kidnap these people and take this so that I can make the world a better place. I don't think it was his place to do so, because it's not his gift to give. It's not his gift to take, it's not his gift to give, and he doesn't even understand it himself. And yes, if he asked, they would have probably said no and fuck you and then disappeared into the ether.
Yeah.
But that would be their choice. Is the thing. Like, they've lived for so long that they know how certain things are going to turn out. They've seen every possible outcome in every possible situation.
Mm-hmm.
I think because, honestly, if they've lived for that long and they still don't know why the fuck it's happening to them, how else is someone else going to figure it out? Is how they're probably going through it.
Yeah, but also science grows every day. Like,
You're
there's
you're
all
right.
sorts of new technology and all sorts of new methods that science and all that stuff can use, where that weren't before. So maybe there are new techniques that they could try to figure things out, but they would never willingly give them the chance. And
Exactly.
so it's
But
almost
that's their
like a
choice.
like again going back to the trolley problem, like if they could like are their lives more important than others than the
Which
whole group of civilization?
we kind of see a little bit, because the way they've gone through the world and they've gone through time helping people, those people then help other people who help other people who help other people. So they are actually quite important to the
That's
world
true. Yeah.
and to the life of the world. So, and the people they've saved, they even said at one point, like, she saved this one guy who had a kid who found the early detection for diabetes. So it does lead to good things in the medical field. But again, I honestly, for me, it just goes back to the fact that, like, if it's not their choice, then why the fuck are you, like, poking and prodding them, kind of thing. Like, my body, my choice. Like,
Yeah, I see that and I agree with that, but
yeah,
I also think that at the end of the day, humanity and civilization and all that stuff, I feel like is in this situation is kind of more important. Where if like, let's say someone want to drop a nuclear bomb somewhere, like, and you can stop them, like, would you stop them from doing that? But that's also taking away their choice to do that as well. Where it's
no,
like
that's
some,
different. That's much different.
but it's the same. Where it's like they have the ability to do something, and they can either choose to do something good and positive with it or not. I don't know if I'm making sense here. That's a bad
Yeah, no,
analogy,
because that's a
but
bit,
like
that's
it's
a choice. Because that's a
exactly.
choice. These are like whatever is happening to them. They don't fucking know what that is, and they don't even know how to give it to people. They've tried. Like Booker in the past, he like wished he could give that to his kid,
Yeah, and this
but
was
there
a
was
way
no way to
to
do so.
learn more. Like, again, science grows every day, and I think learning with the more test stuff, I think you could figure things out.
But Nikki said, he said, I've heard it so many times before. So this has maybe happened to them before,
Yeah,
and
but
they've gone through this dance
with
over and over and
with
over
old
again.
science and old technology, yeah. But again,
Yeah.
science grows every day. There's always something new to be discovered and explored, and maybe one day they could figure out a way. I don't know. I actually don't know if this is a science thing or a universe thing. That
I think
causes
it's a
this.
universe thing,
If it's
but
if it's universe, that's kind of a stupid reason. Which
that's not a stupid reason. It's a sci-fi. It's a science. It's a fictional movie.
I know that's the thing. Like I kind of want it to be a science thing where like there is something in it because like I feel like it's just it's the universe, it's our time. It's kind of like that's random and kind of just convenient for plot purposes. Where I
No, no,
do
it's
kind of
not for
want it to be a
plot. Not
science
for
thing.
plot. It's
I'm
not just for plot.
it kind of is.
It isn't. It's the if you it would be if it was just a moment. I was like, oh, sick, not my time yet. But if their whole existence is it's just not my time yet because there's something else I need to do. I've been kept alive for a reason, kind of thing. That's no longer a coincidence or a plot device. It's a base reason. Like, and it's base reason without you having to know. It's you have to go into this going believing that there's a reason for everything, that everything happens for a reason, kind of thing, which is what
That
Nikki says at one point.
that feels too like not scripted, not in like the show purpose, but scripted in like life, where it's like, oh, everything's gonna happen, and like it almost takes away the butterfly effect thing because it's like, oh no, your choices don't matter. What think this is how it's gonna happen, and there's no way to change that.
Nah, it doesn't take away the butterfly
Yes, it.
effect.
That's yeah.
No, everything happens for a reason, as in, like, there's a reason that Andy and her team are still alive. So they are still alive, they end up helping someone, and then they help someone, they help someone, they help someone. That reason is the base core of why the world is still spinning.
Yes, but that's not a choice. That's almost like, oh, it's what's gonna happen because that's what's gonna happen.
It's she says later, she says it's obviously we don't know why this is happening to us, but we get a say in how we control how we live. That's the difference. We get a way, we control how we live. That's our choice. But the reason we're alive, no fucking idea. But we do have a choice on what we do with it.
I don't get
Mm.
it. I'm like because like it's either like cause it's almost like okay, no, this is meant to happen. This is how it's going to happen. It's when it's their time when they do the good thing that they're supposed to do, which isn't a choice if they're supposed to do it and it's going to happen.
There, the whole thing is that everything happens for a reason is the fact that they are still alive. They're still alive for a reason. They don't know what that reason is, when their time will be up, and when that reason will no longer be necessary.
But they know it's going to happen, and they know that
Yes.
eventually they will do what they need to do, which isn't again isn't the butterfly effect choice. It's because it's what's going to happen, and it will be when their time is done.
Yes, that's the technical term of like them being alive and them dying. But the choices they make are what created the butterfly effect. The choice they made they made those choices to save specific people, to save people throughout the world that have then gone on to other things. So, in the technical term of them living and dying, yes, there's some reason. The universe is keeping them alive for a reason. That's the thing that's very much like, who knows? Well, what happens happens kind of thing. But the choices they make in the middle of all of it, that's what creates the butterfly effect.
That confuses me. That's I feel like this is too confusing and too complicated. So, like
Oh dear.
they
It
need to
shouldn't
make it
be.
more like it's not. It's
It,
not. It's confusing.
it shouldn't be. It's not that confusing. You just gotta believe.
I do in real life. I do believe like universe stuff in real life. But I feel like for like of keeping some people alive for a certain amount of time and like hundreds thousands of years and then like stopping it like at some point, I'm like that's kind of a stupid reason. I feel like there should be more like biological or science or like somehow it's all connected like type of way. I don't know. The
Yeah,
whole like universe thing is kind of like, in that aspect it's kind of dumb to me.
it's because you're a Leo.
Yeah. What does that have to do with anything?
There's gotta be a fucking reason for everything.
What? Yeah.
It's
Okay, but
logic. It's gotta be logical. There's gotta be some science to it. There's gotta be logic to it.
yeah, but there's no science to this. There's no science to why they're alive, which there should be.
No, no, that exactly. That's what I'm saying. You're like because you're a Leo.
Oh. And that's honestly in real life. I'm not like that. But I think for the purpose of this show, picking and choosing to keep certain people alive for no real reason and or for like to go do certain things and then stopping it it's the stopping it randomly part that bothers me. And like after a certain thing happens or a certain amount of time, it's like okay, you're done, the end. And it's just like
There's probably reason to that too. It's because oh, you've done what we needed you to do. The universe is like, hey, you did it. Well done. This is what this is what the moment in time that we needed you for. So you can go now.
but that
You've
still
done
feels
well.
too scripted. Like it feels like
It
the universe is already
doesn't.
written out and that's destiny and fate and that's like there's nothing can to
Destiny,
stop that.
exactly. Destiny and fate. Let's take Lycan, who died
Yeah.
way
Okay.
back when. He was fighting with Quinn and Andy for a good amount of time, let's presume. Obviously not longer than them because they met each other first. He was there for a purpose. That purpose was fulfilled, and thus the immortality was no more. He was because it was not his time yet before. But once he did what the universe needed him to do, it was no longer there because his time was done. It
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh, it's your time. You can go now. And he did his work and he left. That's the universe, fate, all of that. It's determined with these people by we need you for this specific thing kind of thing. Like Andy obviously doesn't have immortality anymore, but she was here to kind of like bring Niall in to the they kept her here for that very last moment of bringing Niall into the fold. Presumably. We haven't seen the second film yet. I haven't seen the second film yet. I forgot about the book. I need to reread it. But presumably that's why she was still here. Because when Niall came into the fold, she literally says later, like, oh, this is why I've lost my immortality at this moment, kind of thing. She was meant to do this. And now that her job is done, they're like, oh, okay, thank you so much for what you've done. You can go now.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's a stupid reason.
Why?
Because it's again, it's like okay, you give people immortality, but not like, but then cut it off once they do. Like it's a stupid like universe. It feels like there should be someone picking and choosing this. Like
There isn't someone picking and choosing this. It's just it's destiny. It's fate.
yeah, but then there I don't like if that's the reason I don't like it. I think that's a stupid
Why?
reason. Because it's stupid. I feel like there either should be some sort of like science or biological thing in their body that is the reason, and then it like expires after a certain amount of time.
That's
Or
too logical. That's too logical.
exactly, there should be logic. It's not just like,
No,
oh, and
there
then
doesn't
like
have to be logic to
here's the thing.
everything.
Picking certain people to be immortal, that's one thing. I'm fine with that being a universe thing where it's like, oh, you were born into this, who knows how this happened, whatever. But it's the stopping part that bothers me. Why stop at a certain amount of time and then just like take that away? That's seems it's like it's
That's
stupid.
honestly, it seems like you're placing it on the fact that immortality is a positive thing.
I'm not. I know. I think the whole immortality thing is stupid, regardless. That's what the movie is based off of. So I'm
Yeah,
trying to like think of it in that aspect of if they're immortal, then they should stay immortal, or there should be a specific way to die, but not have it be like, oh, just random. It should be like a certain thing
it's
they
not
need to do
necessarily random. Like they
to.
don't just they aren't just like sitting on a couch one day and suddenly like like it's not just
Well, it could
randomly
be.
taken. It's just
It could be because they never know when it's going to happen.
no. It will always happen like in a way that obviously you would die from this kind of thing. Like
Well,
Andy was
what if they had a heart attack after their mortality was up? It just happened randomly on the couch.
no, that's not something that happens.
It
They're healthy
could.
people.
It could. I don't know. You don't know. Heart attacks happen. I don't know. Regardless, if that's the reason, I find it stupid.
You're putting so much logic into this, you fucking Leo.
I'm just saying because it's there should be something behind like some
Listen
better
to the dreamer
explanation.
Pisces. Listen to the dreamer Pisces. Listen to the dream.
Look. Some of us are the Andys and Bookers. Some of us are the Joe and Nickies. We
Yeah,
clearly
oh
know
wow,
where we
yeah,
are.
you've nailed it on the head there. Yeah.
We clearly know where we stand.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Anyway,
Anyway,
to bring it back to the earlier point of like the gray area that Copley's under.
yeah.
Um, I also like to point out I think that's the reason that Niall is like so like what the fuck when she's like because she turns to him and she says she's in it, she couldn't see it, but you could and you gave them up. I think that's why that she's like I feel like Copley obviously did a bad thing.
Hmm.
But that's the crux of like all of it because they're here. They've been here for years doing good in the world. And it's not just that he saw, oh, she's a good person, so I kidnapped her. It wasn't just that. It's he saw all the good that was happening because of them and still decided maybe we could do that for ourselves. Maybe we could take them and then try and replicate something. When really the good was already being done.
Yes, but there's good, and then there's better. And in his mind, he thought that good could be turned into something better.
Who are you to decide that that's better though?
Well, because he went through worse. He saw his wife go through that, and he figured if there was a way to prevent not just him but other people from experiencing that, like Booker experienced that, which is I think is why he
Exactly.
was willing to join this because he experienced that worse, and some people haven't, and so it's kind of like all that stuff.
Exactly. But it's almost selfish in a way, which like selfish doesn't always have to be a bad thing, but like it's almost selfish in a way where it's like I've gone through something horrible, so I'm going to make sure that no one else goes through this horrible thing by kidnapping these people and trying to take it and make it into something good. But like
But you could
it's
also
almost
argue
selfish.
it's selfish for them to not want to help these people and not want to try to give their ability that they were born with or have to help other people as well.
Which would make sense, but they've lived for so long that Andy, I know that like if there was a way for Andy to give her immortality to someone, she wouldn't because she's the amount of time she's lived for and the cynical person that she's turned into because of it, she knows it's a bad thing and she wouldn't wish it on her worst enemy. So I think I see where you're coming from, but I also see that they know the immortality is not a positive thing, so they would not give it. But other people who aren't in it will see it as a positive thing and go, "Well, I can take it from you." And I think it just depends on the lens you're viewing it from. It depends on who's immortal and who's not, and opinions will grow from that, I guess. But I think the real crux of it is that Copley could see that everything was working out great and everyone was living fine, but something bad happened to him, and he didn't want anyone to have to deal with that. Which is like, I get it, but also they were already doing good in the world and everything was working out the way it was supposed to. So why would you take them to try and do more? Like, they were already, it was already working out the way it was supposed to.
Yeah, but in his life, the way it was supposed to was his wife dying of ASL.
Which is horrible.
So it's like, if that's what's supposed to happen, why would you want that to happen? Like, if what's supposed to happen is you go through this horrible thing and watch someone you love and care about slowly die of a certain disease, why would you want to leave that in the fate of the universe? That's where things are supposed to happen. Like,
But
that
again,
sucks.
that brings it back to being selfish again. That, like, the
Yeah, but
something
sometimes
bad
selfish is a
happened
good
to
thing, like
me.
you said.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes selfish is a good thing. But it brings it back to the fact that he's like, something bad happened to me, so now I'm gonna take it into my own hands. Like, I think if his wife didn't die of ASL, he found all of this out, he would have been like, this is amazing. Everything is working out the way it's supposed to. But because it happened to him, suddenly he had to take a stand and fix it himself, which I think is the problem. Like, just taking it into his own hands without their consideration at all. Like, no input. Just like, I don't know, I'll fix this myself. Like,
I mean,
it's
it's someone
again,
doing something to try to fix things.
but like, why is that his job? Like, that's the thing. Like, it's a gray area. There's a lot of positives and negatives to take
Yeah.
from it, but uh let's get out of it. It's too much. It's too much to think about. My brain hurts. Yeah. Anyway, so they go to the Merrick building, the Merrick Tower, Avengers Tower, if you will.
Yes.
In London, and really interesting shot that I want to point out is Niall looking up at the height of the building. But when she gets out of the car, like before she enters the building, they take a second to show her looking up at it and going, whew, like, because of what happens later. Kind of foreshadows the quick trip down it. And we also, let's see, we go into the building. Copley's like, hey, I can get you in through the back here, and I'm coming with you. I've got a gun. And she's like, the fuck you're not. No, you're not. This is gonna get really ugly really fast. And he's like, I can't let you go in there alone. She's like, I'm the one that's gonna walk out of here one way or another. You won't if you die. That's not gonna happen. So, obviously, the very obvious course of action is her going in by herself, because he's just collateral damage if he ends up there. So, he gives her the access card, tells her the floor, sends her up there. We also get another really good soundtrack moment. I can't remember what song it's called, but it's really good. Oh yeah, I think there's a lyric to like, if it's the end of the world, I'm going down fighting or something like that. Oh, the music in this fucking movie is phenomenal. I need every song, every single song. But she makes it up to the 14th floor, I believe it is, and obviously there's guards there waiting for her. She's got a hand behind her back. She's like, oh, it's just, I was just looking for, like, the bathroom or something. And they're like, this is weird. Why does she have a hand behind her back? Show us your hands. And she obviously has a gun behind it, so they shoot her down pretty quick. This was smart. This was very... She's starting to use her immortality to her advantage, now that she kind of knows how it works. And the second he tries to go for her ID, she pops up, kills all three of them. She's starting to know how this works, and she's starting to use it to her advantage. And I love that we see that pretty quickly from her. She adapts quickly. She also has Andy's axe. So she's like...
Yes.
She keeps it with her because she's like, Andy's going to need this. And we cut to the lab for a moment. Joe is already yelling. He's like, you selfish piece of shit. He's already peeved at Booker. And Booker does make that point of, like, you and Nikki always had each other from the moment you died. And all me and Andy had was our grief. We were alone for the longest time. And that is a very good point. Again, it brings back the nature versus nurture kind of situation here, where two people were brought up very differently. And Niall goes to get to the lab, but standing right outside of the lab is Merrick. And he's like, who the fuck are you? And she's gonna threaten him to take him to the lab, but all the other guards are showing up already. Carnage is going down, everyone's shooting. And she ends up making it into the lab before closing the door. Merrick and his guard are like, fuck, there's another one. They've realized there's now 5 instead of 4. And she makes it into the lab and is basically untying all of them. And she even tells Andy, she's like, I know all the good you've done. I've seen it. And you may not see it because you're in it, but I've seen it, so you need to get your ass up off the chair. we need to get ready for shit. The doctor is also there, and she punches her out real quick. Yeah. That doctor was she tries to like stab her with a syringe. She's like, no, that's not what yeah. You're not equipped to handle this fight. So we all get ready to go, and she's like, I'll get Booker. Come, Booker's like, no, leave me here. And he's like, they're like, no man left behind. And Joe's like, oh, there's a first time for everything. Like, nothing but a traitor. And Andy's like, we're putting a pin in that. Like, we've got shit to do. This is not the time for it. We can think about that later. But we don't get a say. She says, and this is my dialogue highlight, we don't get a say in when it ends. But we do have, we can control how we live. Which is honestly a really good thing to think about in daily life. Like, we have no idea when we're gonna die. We have no idea when it's all gonna end. But we can control how we live through it. Which is true for every human, not just immortal people. Like, we don't know when we're gonna die. I don't know when I'm gonna die. But I can control how I live from day to day. It's a very good thing to keep in mind. And she turns to Booker in that moment. She says, to be honest, Booker, we've kind of been doing a shit job of it. Like, in that moment, you kind of see her getting her fighting back and getting her spirit back and her hope and humanity back. She's like, we've been cynical as fuck. We've been hating the world and we've not been doing much to help it. We've just kind of given up. So we've been doing a shit job of it. So get up off your ass. It's time to get back into this. So she gets some of that fighting spirit back. And once again, even with Niall being newly added to the team, their fighting is like elegant. Like, the way they move about with the guns and everything, it's like so like everyone knows who's moving. It's like a fine-tuned machine. I'm like, damn, like it's so satisfying to watch y'all. It's so cool. And they're all protecting Andy as they do it as well, because they know that her immortality's gone. Done. Yeah, she's done. So they're like, we got to make sure you don't get shot. And they still are able to do that, even with everything happening. They're able to move through, make sure they're kind of around Andy at each moment. And Niall even takes some bullets for her at one point. She uses herself as a shield in front of her, which is I love this movie. It's very cool to watch them move. It's very cool. And also, this is all like, everyone did their own stunts. I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure about everyone else. I'm sure they did because it looks like it. But I know Charlize Theron did her own stunts. She trained for like months to do this. And she trained for months again for the second film as well. She was like, I was back into training. We filmed it. And honestly, like, I feel like that's why she does so many action movies, because she's trained for so many of them that she's like in top peak physical health. Yeah. She did say when she was, I think it was for when she was doing the Old Guard too. I'm not sure. But she did say she was like, starting to hurt a little bit. I feel like I'm getting older. So, but she's amazing at what she does, because it looks phenomenal when they do it. So let's see. We've got, they're all moving about very easily. And everything seems like it's going to go well. They're all crowding one area. And as they're going to move out, they throw in a smoke bomb, the other guys. They throw in like a smoke bomb or a smoke grenade or whatever that is. And so everyone's kind of incapacitated for the moment. And the 3 of them run out. I believe it's Booker, Niall, and Andy run out. Nikki and Joe are still in one room with the head of security. Nikki and him get into kind of like a fight, and he ends up shooting Nikki in the mouth. And like, that's, I mean, if he was a normal human, dead. Yeah. So, and I think this actually, it very much speaks to the fact that like, Joe is always looking to Nikki whenever they like die or whenever they get mortally wounded or something. He always looks at Nikki first, because it's like, they don't know when each other's gonna die. Obviously they can. And they've been around for so long, it could be fucking any day. Who the fuck knows? They're not new enough to be like, we're bulletproof, we're fine. So obviously in this moment, he's bending down, he's looking at him, and he's like, fuck, is he dead? And you could hear the sigh of relief he gives when he like wakes up. Oh, Jesus. Like, because they truly don't know. Andy's good with any axe. She grabs a regular axe. Yeah. A regular little fire axe. Like that. And she ends up blocking a bullet from this one guy with it, which is sick. She runs towards him. That guy kicks the axe out of her hand. So fuck there. But he ends up going at her with the knife, and she just blocks everything and uses the knife against him. She starts stabbing him with the knife still in his hand. I'm like, how the fuck you doing that? I love her. She pretty much beats him down though, which is pretty sick of her. And they all pop up and are like, where is he? Obviously you're gonna die in 2 seconds if you don't tell us, so yeah, what come on, where is he? And he's in the penthouse, obviously, so they make a plan to go up there. They use the Sao Paulo in 1834 method, which apparently means someone comes through a window to distract them and the others break through the door. Because obviously, these guards are all standing there, guns pointed at the front door. Because they assume that's the only way to get in. No. If you're a crazy immortal, you could come in through the window.
Yeah, as you do.
Easy peasy, as you do. And before that happens, though, we have a moment between Niall and Andy. And she's like, here's a bulletproof vest. Like, let me lead. I'll go in first. I mean, you stay back with the bulletproof vest. She's like, no. If it's my time, it's my time. Like, there's a reason the immortality is ended now. Like, if I get shot in there, that's when I'm supposed to get shot. Like, I've lived for long enough that I know that, oh well. Like, that's gonna be the moment. So, she's not even putting on the bulletproof vest. Honestly, yes, she could be protected for that moment, and it would help protect her, but, like, who knows? It could hinder movement as well. She's a very, like, flexible, like, fighter. A bulletproof vest might stop that. I feel like it could give some limitations. And she's like, nah, I'm good. Next time, though, if this doesn't go well, you go first. On you. So, as predicted here, not as predicted, but, like, as was planned, Joe comes through the window. Flies through the window, presumably from above. And he takes out the head of the guards, because another dialogue highlight here. He says, you shot Nikki. You shouldn't have done that. And he just kills him immediately. He flips him over, cracks his neck on the floor. Damn, like, what a death. But, like, I love that moment of, you shouldn't have done that. It's so funny. He stops in that moment just to be like, sucks for you. And so they basically take out everyone, but then they see that the elevator is going down. And they're like, fuck, Merrick is getting away. So the three guys go down the stairs to chase after him, presumably thinking that Merrick is in the elevator. And while that's happening, Andy and Niall head over to the window and just watching from above. And Andy kind of goes into a thoughtful moment of like, so this is what's going on. She's like, I think you showed up when I lost my immortality, so I could remember what it was like to feel unbreakable. Remarkable. You reminded me there are people worth fighting for. Which is, I really love that character development, because we saw her at the beginning of the movie thinking the world was hopeless. Nothing was gonna fix anything, let alone them. And now, here at the end of the movie, she's like, there's still stuff to be done. I can still do some good. So, it's really cool to see her journey throughout the movie do that. Because that was one of my dialogue highlights, was her just going, wow, I think this is what must have happened. And they have a nice moment chatting about that. But not for long. Because it turns out Merrick psyched them out. Didn't know he was smart enough to do that. He sent the elevator down with no one in it. I don't know how, but he did.
I mean, you could click the button and then leave.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to do it.
That's true. That's a good point. Talk about him leave. Yeah. I was too caught up in the fighting. I didn't. As were they. So,
Yeah.
but in that moment, as he's pointing a gun at them, he's like, "Oh, I'll kill her. Like, don't you see what we could do here? You're priceless." Like, and again, the way he says that, it all comes back to money for him.
Yeah.
Like, and she turns to Niall and goes, "Hey, Niall, do you think he speaks Russian?" And
So I
that
get what
kind of
this was a
gives it away.
callback to, but I don't get
Yeah.
what happened. Like,
Okay, let me explain.
okay, I don't know if
So,
it happened too fast and I missed something or what, but like,
it was basically the way she said it. Okay, so do you think he speaks Russian? To call back, obviously, to the fact
yes,
on the plane where
like
the
play
pilot
dead.
played dead. So that clued into Niall kind of a vague plan of one of us has to play dead. So she shot near Andy, presumably looking like she shot Andy, but probably didn't because Andy would have died. So she could shot next to her head or something. She's a trained marksman. She knows how. And in that moment, Merrick was like temporarily like, fuck, what? Did you just kill her? Like, and went to point the gun at Niall, who, so he's now distracted. Obviously, Andy is not dead and was not shot at. So she was able to run at Merrick and kind of like spin around,
Okay.
axe him. Yeah. Axe him in the neck. Like that was a
Yeah.
wound and a half. She almost took off his head. And that was basically the plan. And there was a moment though where he was about to shoot her. However, Niall runs
Yep.
at him, grabs him, takes him out the window and down onto his car or their car, someone's car, right there on it. Someone's car is now destroyed. Down there on the ground. So this is really I love this because it calls back. It's like a full circle moment to her saying, "There's no way I'm jumping from a plane."
Yeah.
Like at the end, she ends up jumping from a high place anyway
Yeah.
because she had to. There was no other choice. Like she did what she had to do. She knew she'd survive anyway. That's kind of like the crux of what they do. In the graphic novel, actually, it's Booker, Andy, and Niall that go out the window. And it's before they find Joe and Nikki. They haven't rescued them yet. But it's after the betrayal from Booker. They grab Booker after she's like shot him because she's pissed at him. And they go right out the window and they all three jump. And it's a really funny moment in the graphic novel because as they're falling, she's like, you know it's really far when you have time to think as you fall.
Yeah.
And she says, as they're falling, she's like, "So Niall, read any good books lately?" As they're falling, and Niall says, "I fucking hate you, Andy." And it's just such a funny moment in the book that's just like, they're just falling out of a window and just chilling, and she's like, "I hate this, I hate all of it, I hate all of it." It's such a good moment. And obviously, boom, she lands in the car with him, and just then the three guys make it downstairs out the street and they're like, "Oh shit."
Something happened
like,
there.
yeah. And I think it might be Joe who says it. It might be Booker who says it. Oh, actually, you know what? I could push play on here and then voila. It is. Is it Joe? Booker? I don't know. It's someone. He looks up and goes, "Well, it's faster than the elevator." Yeah, Joe. Joe says it. He says Joe has a lot of like one-liners in this that are really good. He said, "Well, it's faster than the elevator," and they help Niall out, who is like slowly piecing back together.
Yeah.
Like her bones are cracking back into place. Whew. Every time I watch this movie, my mom goes, I can't watch that part. And in this moment, we kind of see like a smile between Niall and Andy of, well, you're one of us. Well done. Yep. And in this moment, we get another good soundtrack moment. My favorite song from this movie, and I first found it in this movie. It's called Silence by Marshmello and Khalid. It's a really good song. I listen to it whenever I'm like really depressed. Even when I'm like not really depressed, I listen to this song. I fucking love this song. It's so fucking love it. It's beautiful. And we now move on to a shot that I would love to hear your input on because I could write an essay on this shot. Because after Niall looks up at the building, is like, "Holy fuck, this is my new life." Gets in the car, they drive away, and as they drive away, the street floods with people and
Yeah.
police, almost like it's like there was a cue. Be like, and walk on a screen. Like that's basically what looks like happened. And I've seen a lot of people watch this movie. I've seen every reaction there possibly is for this movie, and most of them will be like, oh, conveniently, not a single person was on the street watching this, or like, oh, that wasn't shot well because everyone just walks into shot the second they leave. It's giving movie set, you know? However, you gotta see the vision. So let me explain my vision here. The amount of times I've watched this movie, I've pieced together what this actually is. Think back on what Copley said earlier. They save a life 2 or 3 generations later, we reap the benefits. So they're never like seen. It's only the people that actually do the big things that are seen. They're in the middle of this huge butterfly effect, moving around unseen. We even see Andy purposefully delete a girl's selfie because she's in the background. They're never seen by anyone. Like this shot is one of the best shots in the movie because while it feels accidentally poorly shot and poorly directed, it's so purposeful in the fact that in the movie because it's so purpose. My brain, I can't speak. Okay, this shot. Okay,
Okay. Okay. Take two.
I'm too passionate about the shot.
Okay.
Okay, it's one of the best shots in the movie because while it feels accidentally shot poorly, it's so purposeful in the fact that whatever these 5 do, it's always going to be in the shadows. Like everyone's always going to show up after they do the saving and go, ah, this is the effect. Something happened. Like he jumped, something. Whatever they do, it's never seen by anyone. They're always moving around in the shadows. And that's what this shot is pointing towards. I think this shot was so purposeful in that it wasn't accidentally poorly shot. It wasn't the director going, and step onto set. It was like first couple times I saw it, I was like, oh, really? They just walk onto set like that after? Like, oh, conveniently, no one was around to see it. That's giving like main character, oh my god, character energy. Like, it's obviously that no one was there. But after a billion times watching it, I'm like, no, this was on purpose. It's because no one's ever around to see what they do. And no one's around to, like, either to be like, oh, thank you for what you do, you know, kind of thing. No one's ever around to see them. So, what do you think about that show?
I'll be honest, when I first watched it, and the only time I watched it, I didn't really care about I didn't think anything of it. I was just like,
Yeah, I know.
I was watching it, whatever, nothing entered my mind at this scene. I was like, oh, good, the fight's over. Okay, now we're entering the epilogue arc.
Yeah.
I guess I see your point of like, oh, that's what's meant to show. But I still feel like if someone jumped out of a window and landed on a car, I feel like someone, even if it's not coming out onto the street, like someone in a neighboring building or someone would look out the window and be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, that would be
Yeah.
loud enough where it's. And like, I get you mean like, oh, it's always supposed to be in the shadows. But I'm also like, it's conveniently in the shadows, where it's like, it does
Yeah.
feel a bit convenient that it's like, oh, no one just happened to see it. But like, it's also supposed to be because they're supposed to be
Yeah.
in the show. It's like.
Which is why this scene wasn't like, I don't take it too seriously in the fact that it's like, oh my god, no one was around to see it. Obviously, no one was around to see it. They wouldn't have heard it. Like, I don't take it like that as like in the logical way. I see the scene as like a metaphor. I take it as a metaphor. Like they move it unseen in the shadows. But in technical things, I'm like, damn, how did no one hear that? Like I'll watch this and be like, damn, there's so much shooting from that building and no one's hearing this. But like when this shot comes up, I think of that as a metaphor more like it's more yes, they move unseen. Like it's just an afterthought kind of thing. It's just a little thing to show, yeah, no one ever really sees what they do. But obviously when I'm watching it, I'm like, did no one hear like the glass break or like someone fall from a building into a car? Like obviously I think that every time I watch it. But this was more of a metaphor to show. And I find it so interesting because when I first watched the movie, I was like, I even thought the same. I was just like, wow, okay, no one really was here for that. Like, but a million times after watching it, I'm like, wait, this is a little like nod. This is like a little metaphor. Just to be like, no one ever sees what they do. I don't think that picked up on my mic.
I guess I see that. I kind of see like both ends of it, where like, yeah, it could be a metaphor, it could be that, but it also does feel like convenient. That's like, oh, of course no one saw it because they're the main character, and like, they can get away with everything and all that stuff. So it's like, I guess you could say I'm in the middle where I'm like, I'm like, you know, I can believe both sides. So
that's why I like movies and TV and like because it's all a form of art, right?
mm,
And art is in the eye of the beholder. Like it's all up for interpretation when it comes down to it. Like it's how you view a movie. So like I'm seeing this, whereas someone else could see like, oh, this is stupid, and I'll be like, okay, fine, your opinion, but like I don't think it's stupid, and here's why. That's what I like about art, is because everyone sees something differently, which is just very cool. It won't stop me from being like, but why? Like,
yeah,
but but it's really interesting how different people can see something.
yeah.
That's literally like the longest paragraph in my
Holy
entire
crap.
notes. Like that, I literally have a whole paragraph just on that shot. I love that shot so much. It's kind of insane. But yeah, so they drive off. All these people show up. And we're now at a pub. And Booker's outside while everyone's having a discussion inside, presumably discussing what he did. And Niall comes and is like, they're talking about it. Like they're still deciding. They're not entirely sure what to do. And he's like, well, there's not much to decide. It's not like they can kill me. Like
Yeah. And he would want that if that was the case. So it's like,
he would have wanted that. Yeah. And in the graphic novel, it's not for lack of better. It's not for lack of trying on Andy's part. Like that when they find out that he's betrayed them, it's just her, Booker, and Niall.
mhm,
They haven't rescued Joe and Nikki yet, and they literally go to like the middle of nowhere to like hash this out, and they're just shooting each other.
yeah.
Like for a good minute, and they're like, "Well, fuck you!" Like it's ow, fuck you! Like it's a whole fight between them, and Niall has to literally like spray them and be like they're all just like shooting each other at this point and be like, "Oh my god, stop!" Like chill the fuck out. We can't be doing this right now. So it's not for lack of trying on Andy's part in the novel. She does try to kill him. Because honestly, I think Andy's a bit more ruthless and kind of crazy. In the books, she's depicted as slightly differently in the movies. I'm still not sure which one I like better. I'm more inclined to like movie Andy better. I haven't read the other two books though, so who knows. In the graphic novels, actually, the first time you see Andy, she's like leaving a one night stand. Apparently, she's like she sleeps around a lot. Like she has a new person every night, and I'm like, that makes a change from the movie. Like in the movie, she's just like, no, it's just us four. We're alone this time.
Yeah.
We don't see what she's doing when she's traveling, but it's never shown on screen like that. I don't know how. I think I like that they changed that. I don't know. I'm not really a fan of the whole like, oh, you find someone to sleep with every night. It feels random, and I feel like it's not really wouldn't really add to her character in a way.
I guess it could, if they were to add that. I think it's more just to show, like, how, like,
Alone maybe.
I mean, alone, or maybe just, like, the fact that, I don't want to say she, like, uses people. Because, like, she gives up on humanity, and it's kind of just like,
It's the only connection she has really.
Yeah.
Like aside from the four of them, it's the only way she can connect with people. Which
Yeah.
at that point, like if you've given up on the world, I see why.
Yeah.
Um, I see why that would feel you'd feel like that's the only connection. And also, it is interesting to note in the books, she sleeps with everyone, like guys, girls, everybody. She's sleeping with all sorts of people. And in the book, it's also mentioned that she did have someone that she loved for a while, a human, like a non-immortal person, um, that she found after he escaped slavery, and they ended up being like outlaws together in Australia, and she was with him until he grew old and died. Like he never asked. He never was like, why aren't you growing old? Like things like that. They would just loved each other until he was like, you need to leave because people will start asking questions. Like I'm very old and you're very young. It's going to be a problem soon. Like so you need to go. And they got into an argument about it, but she did end up leaving. And that was the person I think she loved for the longest outside of Quinn in the movie, I would think. But it's just really interesting to see like all the people that she ended up with. Um anyway, off my tangent. Um so Niall has her phone back. Andy has given it back. And she said I could have it back maybe to call someone, but she talked to Copley, said he could fix it, make it look like she was killed in action. She's not going to go back to her family. And she says her family will mourn, but they'll move on, just like they did with her dad. And you can tell it hurts for her. to have to do this because her family's everything to her. She would have loved to be with them longer, but she can't. Shit, or it'll be like a very large problem if she does. So it's something she has to let go of. As they make their decision, Andy comes out to let Booker know what's going on, and she tells him that they've decided that 100 years from now, they'll meet you here, and you guys can go back to normal. But until then, you're alone. So his punishment, he's exiled from the group for 100 years. And this means that he likely won't see Andy again, seeing as she's aging normally now.
Yeah.
Which is what they say. They're like, oh, he's like, I'm going to miss you. I won't see you after this. Like,
Yeah.
we're fucked. And she's like, have a little faith, Book. So, one, that's to give a little nod to the fact that maybe his involvement is not done yet. Which we get more of later. But also, it's a very large difference from how we saw Andy at the beginning. Because one of the first things we see from Andy when she first meets Niall is she mocks her for praying. And she's like, God doesn't exist, don't pray. And the last thing she says in this movie to someone else is just, have a little faith. Like, her character development is staggering. I love watching how she changes and the little tiny pieces of dialogue that she now has in her conversation, in her vocabulary, because she's developed like that. Very cool. And after they hug and say goodbye, and they leave Booker there alone, they end up going back to Copley's house in Surrey, where he's got his big board of evidence. And she's like, oh my god, like, she hadn't seen this before. None of them had. They're like, this is, and Copley says, this is only what I found going back the first 150 years or so. Obviously there's more. And he says, when you think about how old you are, the good you've done becomes exponential. Like, that butterfly effect is just like trickled throughout history. And Niall says, this is one of my dialogue highlights, maybe this is the why, Andy. Because they've always wondered, why the fuck are we alive? Why are we here? What's the point? And she's like, maybe this is the why. Maybe this is why we're here. We got to be doing all this, which is a whole thing that we already went into.
Yeah,
but like, we're not gonna do it anymore.
Nope.
And we're done. And another thing she says that I really do like is, we don't have all the answers, but we do have purpose. Even if you don't know the answer, even if you don't know why shit's happening, as long as you have purpose and a reason to be doing things that you feel in your heart is your reason, then everything's gonna turn out right. It's fine. And I want to go through life like that because I stress too much. I feel like if I had purpose, it'd be a bit easier to move through life, because then you have goals, you should do. So I love her character development. It's absolutely phenomenal, because she didn't have purpose before. She did way years ago, probably. But now there's like a real purpose as to why all of her, actions are being like this. And they say to Copley, they're like, you're gonna work for us now. Like, if we leave a footprint anywhere in the sand, in the snow, in the ether, you're gonna wipe it, you're gonna sweep it. Like, you're gonna help protect us from people who want to kidnap us, put us in cages, prod us, things like that. And you're gonna help us find jobs that are best suited to us. And he even says, I'll be honored. Like, he's changed from what he was before. He'd be like, this is the least I could do. Absolutely, I'll help you do whatever you need. And she's like, cool, then let's get to work. And technically the movie ends there, but
end credit scene.
End credit scene. I'm glad it happened to me. Because I forgot to mention it to you. So I'm glad it happened pretty much immediately. If it happened like after a credit, there's a chance you may have forgotten it.
I'm glad I stuck around. I wasn't going to, but then I was like, oh wait, hang on, just in case, because there's always an end credit scene nowadays.
Yeah,
so it's like,
it happened pretty immediately. Like, it says the old guard, and then it turns into ... right after. So thank God it happened immediately. 6 months later, though. So it's not too long after they've left Booker. Not even a year into his 100 years. He's in Paris, France. He's drinking a lot. He's probably getting drunk all the time, which, I mean, if you're alone and with what he's been through, which his whole thing was like the fact that he was alone before he joined the group, and that's what hurt him a lot, like after his sons died and everything. This probably sucks ass for him. So he is drinking all his thoughts away.
Yeah. Plus, he's immortal, so there's no risk of like liver or kidney disease.
There you go.
Like,
just keep drinking.
He could be drinking 24/7 and not even care.
Exactly. Period. Drink 24/7.
I would.
Yeah, I would. And he goes to open his door with his key, but finds it's already open. And he's like, "Oh shit! Oh god!" So he opens the door, immediately goes into action mode, even though he's drunk. Kudos. And there's a woman there in a red coat, pouring a drink. Fucker, it's nice to finally meet you. Camera pans up. It's Quinn. Quinn is out from the ocean, and she seems very clean cut in his apartment, ready to do shit. Straight hair, makeup. She seems very put together, and that's kind of scary. That clues me into the fact that she might be more of an antagonist in the next film.
If
Because
she's not a psycho insane antagonist, that would be very disappointing. Because I don't want her to meet what's her name again? What Andy again, and then be like, oh, like, you know, and then have her like get through to her and they become like best friends again, or what, girlfriends or whatever. I want them to like kill each other. That's my hope.
From what I remember of the second graphic novel,
Didn't you say she wasn't in
and
it?
I don't know. No, well, Noriko is in it, which is like who she technically was in the novels, but they've changed her name and kind of changed a little bit of what happened to her. She still fell from a ship, but like on accident. From what I can remember, and that's not a lot. I think the gist of it is like she shows up. Obviously, Andy is shocked, and it's not that they're like, "Oh, let's become best friends again." She wants to do something. I don't remember what it is, but she enlists Andy, and Andy is just inclined to be like, "Whatever you want," because all she can think about is the fact that she broke a promise. It did not keep searching for her, and also I'm pretty sure she guilts her into being like, "You stopped looking for me," kind of thing, and "Do you know how long I was down there," kind of thing. But Andy does follow her lead for a bit in that book. I don't remember what happens, but I think it's in a way because she just feels so guilty, and she's like, "I thought I lost you. I'll take whatever time I can get." But obviously, it's not a good thing that she's doing. Noriko slash Quinn, if I remember correctly, it was a bad thing, and I'm pretty sure she splits from the group to do all this because they're like, "No, we're not doing that. No. I can't remember. If I wish I'd read it so I could give you more insight, but I don't fully remember. Also, I don't know if they're doing that for the second movie. I'm hoping that it's based on the second novel because I want to read it and then be like, "Yep, that's what it is." But I don't know. It's out July 2nd, so we'll soon find out. But obviously it has affected her. I will say that from whatever I read in the second book, she's definitely affected by what happened. Don't remember how, but she is. But anyway, that's The Old Guard.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies of all time. I love it because I'm a Pisces. And I don't think about things logically.
That's the thing. I actually don't, in real life I don't. I'm very much like universe. I do tarot cards. I do all sorts of like, you know, more spiritual universe guided stuff. It's just in a show like this or movie like this, it feels more like I need more answers than just, oh, it's just supposed to happen. Like I need more because it just feels like cheap.
I mean, maybe there are answers.
Maybe there are, and I just won't know about it in the future movies. I don't know.
I haven't finished reading. There could be answers. Who the fuck knows? But yeah, woo. That's The Old Guard. I adore it. I have to read I'm gonna read the other two books sometime this week probably because I was like, finally I dug them out because I read the second one and I forgot it, and then I bought the third one when it finally came out. I pre-ordered it and then I never read it, so I need to do that. The art in it is fucking gorgeous though. Like, let me find it doesn't take long to find a good art page. Like, that's just like one page with like just chaos incarnate across it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is like the page with Niall. Here's Niall like shooting the guy that she ends up killing. Yeah. Like, it's just really, the art is phenomenal. And let me find the chunk in Booker's head so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
when the grenade goes off. This is the chunk.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's like a whole little like bite mark, but
yeah.
like a beast bite mark out of his head. They show up at the safe house, and that's just what they find
Hmm.
instead of like that whole dining moment. But yeah, that's they're really good. So if any of you are inclined to read graphic novels, The Old Guard, it's out. It's out everywhere. Very good. But yeah, 3 hours later, here we are. That was The
I
Old Guard.
know. 3 hours later.
Damn, I could talk about this forever. I do love this movie, and some of the shots and the dialogue is just phenomenal to me. But beautiful, well done, and I'm excited to see your movie next.
Yes. So
I gotta rent
next
it.
week we will be recapping my movie again on Twitter. There are a little few images. Someone has already guessed it right within like 10 minutes of me posting it, which I knew would happen because I know certain people follow this or like follow me that like
Hmm.
know about that movie, and like almost immediately I was like, yeah, I knew it.
No one guessed mine.
No, yeah, I guess no one knew about this movie. I guess I don't know.
Honestly, yeah, it's kind of an underrated movie. Like I feel like a lot of people don't know about it.
Yeah, I didn't know. Like you were describing to me, I was like, I have no fucking idea.
I literally like went on Netflix one day because I was bored, and it was just like somewhere in there. It wasn't even like top on Netflix today. It was just somewhere in a group of movies, and I just clicked on it. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people don't know about it. So, and I feel like that needs to change. Guys, watch The Old Guard
Well, if they're
on
listening to
Netflix
this,
now.
hopefully they have already.
I know. It's really good. It came out in 2020 during COVID, so like I had nothing else to do.
Hmm.
And the Old Guard 2, which has been 5 years in the making.
Yep.
I have been waiting 5 years
Yep.
to watch this movie. It's out in July 2nd. It was supposed to be July 27th, I think, or 25th, but it says July 2nd on Netflix now, so I think they moved it up. Very excited. Thrilled, in fact, because literally once a month, at least once a month for the last 5 years, I've gone, any news? Is the Old Guard coming? So much so that my Google just started to like predict that I would
Yeah.
ask for it. Like I would swipe left to my Google News, and like one of the first like 5 articles would be like news on the Old Guard. And I'd be like, yes, and I click on it. No news. Fuck. Like, it's just how it's been. And the second that came out and it was like, oh, there's a release date, I was like, there's a what now? It was so exciting. There was just so much shit holding it back. There were strikes. There was change in leadership at Netflix.
Yeah.
They'd already filmed it. Other movies that had already been filmed and talked about were getting canceled. I was fucking scared. But Charlize Theron kept coming out and going like, no, I'm pretty sure this is gonna happen. It's just there were reshoots and there was change in leadership. It's gonna happen. I swear. I was like, okay, I believe you, Queen.
Yeah.
So, but finally, it's coming. I will
4
literally
months.
lose 4 months. Literally the
To the
day
day.
the day after I watched that movie. Like whatever podcast we have after I watch that
Oh
movie,
god.
I'm gonna be unbearable.
Oh god.
I'm gonna be real fucking annoying.
Okay.
But I'm gonna be very happy. So I will be filming it. Probably for my channel because I'm selfish like that. I'm probably just gonna do movies on my Patreon, but like if it's important to me, I'll probably make it for
Yeah.
YouTube. So that was the Old Guard, everybody.
Yes. And just a reminder that by now the poll for our next show should be on
Yes.
Twitter at _B podcast _. You can go check it
Mm.
out there to cast your vote, and the result will be revealed next week when we're talking about my movie, which will be next week, which I just said. So,
Yay.
but yeah,
That's
so we will see you all then.
See you then.
Bye everyone.
Bye.